You are in a war of images.
Good evening and welcome to The Cube. I am here, by the way, like I'm a person, but it's really not about me this evening. In fact, I'll leave this one just for the intro, but then I think me and Lewis here are going to go, or at least moderate from the sidelines. We're going to leave you in the capable and talented hands of your new hosts. You guys, all 25 of you, are extremely lucky to be watching this. This is the pilot episode. You may never get a chance to see something like this again. This is the pilot episode of something that we're trying for the future that involves taking some of the most interesting and eccentric people we can find on the internet. And I don't want to say pitting them against each other. Look, there's going to be some accusations, all right? People are going to accuse me of human bear baiting, of being some sort of carnival barker, Victorian circus. That's not what this is, okay? You look, those of you who've been following me for a long time will know that even though I am myself a bit of a psychic null, like I have no real superpowers, I am fascinated by and interested in psychic people, neurodivergent people, non-neurotypical people. I have with me 4 of the most interesting, eccentric, charismatic, no pressure, guys, and insane people like that you will ever be able to find on the internet. But without further ado, I don't want to hog the fucking show. Let's go around top to bottom. And why don't you guys explain who you are and what you believe? Not your whole fucking Weltanschauung or whatever it's good. I don't want your entire ideology and worldview. I just want a brief summary. For example, Gnome Chad, CTE, enlightenment here. If I had to summarize Gnome Chad, I would say this is a guy who got hit in the head so many times that he now sees the world differently. But don't let me do it for you. Gnome Chad, why don't you kick us off, man? Why don't you explain who you are, tell everyone your channel, and then give everyone a quick rundown of what you believe.
Okay, well, so obviously my channel name is Gnome Chad. I believe technology is a cult, gay science, like science is Luciferian, gay, homoerotic, and it's wrong. And obviously, the CT enlightenment thing. When you get hit in the head enough times, it's called neuroplasticity. So the idea is when people take psychedelics, they see all these visions. It's just neuroplasticity. So brain damage actually is the key way to enlightenment. We look at enlightened individuals throughout history. They did stuff like eating mercury, eating lead. just like these amazing activities that I highly
No, Chad,
recommend.
can you explain to the audience what's on your head?
It's a tinfoil hat. So demons work in magnetic pulses, right? So the idea is the demons, they infiltrate your brain through electricity. This is reflective to that. And the raven feather just looks cool. But this it's aluminum really because they don't sell tinfoil anymore because it was too effective. It keeps out the demons while I'm streaming and helps me focus.
Cool. As the description says, somebody on this panel has literally been diagnosed with schizophrenia. Somebody on this panel has critical brain trauma. I'll let you guys work out who's who. Okay, it's much more fun that way. Even though Martin, who is going to be our next guest to introduce himself, even though his name is Schizo Guy, he may not be the actually schizo. Martin, why don't you tell everyone about yourself?
Well, I think I am, George. I think I am schizo. If I was to see a psychologist, I'm sure they'd give me that diagnosis.
I get a different impression of you because you're always so well put together. Every time I see, obviously you live in Japan, so you're always in these very pristine rooms. You're always wearing a suit. You got this British accent, which even works on me. So I'm like trying to work out like what makes you a schizo.
Well, it's my unconventional knowledge base. So I actually resent the word belief. The things that I know are not things that I believe. They're things that I know. One can believe a lie, but you can only know the truth. I'm a truther. I know the truth. It's not a belief that could be, shaken or challenged. It's knowledge. So I thought for my introduction, the best way for me to go about it would be to kind of explain my journey down the proverbial rabbit hole. And I started out with the Shakespeare authorship question. There's recently been a new book, Shakespeare Was a Woman, by a lady called Elizabeth Winkler. Definitely worth checking out. But essentially, it has emerged over the past few years that Shakespeare was actually written by a lady called Emilia Bassano Lanier, who is Italian. So it should be 6 parentheses around that. And she worked with a guy called John Florio, who was also an Italian, with parentheses, Briton. And they were the ones who wrote Shakespeare under the direction of Francis Bacon. So my quest to discover the true author of Shakespeare led me into the mouth of the rabbit hole, went down there, discovered Francis Bacon, who is the kind of godfather of modern science. The scientific method is attributed to him. And that led me to the same place that Gnome Chad here is at, which is scientific anti-realism. That is the denial that science can actually give us the truth.
Right, right. So you got there by reading, and he got there by being hit in the head. It's
Right.
just an interesting, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, Gnome Chad can't even like physically read most things, so
He doesn't even mind us saying that. It's literally, Brie, do you feel like it's fair for you to be on the panel with such eccentric gentlemen? Do you feel crazy enough to warrant this kind of panel, or do you feel like you're more of the normie in the?
No, I think I'm definitely crazy enough. But personally, I would call myself also a truther. I think that my earthly body is just being trapped here. Everyone wants to call me schizo. Everybody wants to diagnose me with something here, but that's just because the shadow oligarchy that's ruling the surface of the earth knows that I'm very important in the Galactic Federation. I'm serving on the Senate there, so they know that by diagnosing me schizophrenic here, that they can kind of like degrade the level of truth that I'm able to convey to people on multiple dimensions. But for anyone viewing, sorry, that was just
Based
to answer that question. But for anyone viewing, my name is Brielle. I'm a streamer or whatever, entertainer, I guess, on Twitch and Kick. And but yeah, that's just my earthly body or whatever. I would say that my beliefs, my beliefs are like a lot of things tied into like ancient history, like Sumerian technology, off-world civilization, like Nibiru, Starseed type of. If anybody's vibing with that, that's kind of like the dimension.
I know what all of those things are, and I don't know if I should be happy or sad that I know what all of those things mean. But like, okay. And look, guys, because Brie is quite pretty, there's going to be a lot of people being like, "Larp, larp, larp." I've seen the papers. Okay, I don't know if what you call it in America, sectioned 5150 or whatever. I've seen the fucking papers. All right, so shut up, all of you. Lucky, over to you, buddy.
Yeah, hello, tigers and kitty cats. It's your boy. I like smoking feds. I've eaten, way too many tabs of acid, hundreds of mushroom trips, and I was just so high on LSD, and I smoked some DMT, and from that day forward, I became religious. I sought out the shadow oligarchy. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to steal the soul essence of the souls of mankind. And what they're doing, whether at the top of the shadow oligarchy, it's actually Lucifer or some sort of demons, archons, whatever. I'm going to keep it, relatively vague enough. I know that they're there. We live in a very spiritual realm. And, I think it's bullshit what all these feds and, I'm not going to say the BR. I don't know if I can say that live on air, but I know what they're fucking doing. I know what they're doing. And, I'm going to call them out. I'm going to call them out. I'm going to, call the bullshit. And that's the way she goes, so.
Now, many of you listening, you might have like completely different. Some of you might be in the cube. You might know these guys personally. You might be like, yeah, I know they're eccentric, but they're not, they're not crazy. Others of you may think that this is the most batshit panel that you've ever seen. It really depends on your own backgrounds and where you come from, whatever. I'll just say this. I don't believe in the word crazy. I believe that everybody here is shamanic or psychic on some level, like from basic intuition all the way through to like full-blown schizo. And I think that in a different time, in a different era, the people who have brains such as yours would have had a much different, much more high status role in society. I think that there was previously like a place for the wizard and the shaman and the warlock. And today that stuff's kind of been taken by advertising and Hollywood movies, which leaves many people like you guys living under a bridge. We want to try and not be, what do you call it? Judgmental. Yeah, I just want to let the conversation flow. So on that note, if you could just go around each of you and say, if you had to pick one conspiracy theory to bank your life savings on, flat Earth, hollow Earth, like whatever. If you had to put your colors to a mast, what would it be? And we'll start with.
Before you do that, if I could just do a brief little recap. These four individuals have come to relatively similar conclusions through brain damage, reading, a mental break, and copious amounts of acid. You can decide which one is your path.
So, Gnome Chad, one conspiracy theory if you had to die on a conspiracy theory hill.
Artificial intelligence is embodiments of demons in the material plane.
Please elaborate.
Well, I mean, I already said they work in electromagnetic magnetic pulses, right? And in all these paranormal like sightings and all that, they all have technokinesis to some ability. The ghosts, the demons, whatever you call them. AI gives them a voice in the material world, and Lucifer will be embodied through AI.
So this whole like beast system 666 thing that ties into you being Christian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, makes sense. Martin, you're not Christian.
I'm not.
Okay, and I believe you think the Bible is mostly Jewish lies, shall we just say, or like Freemasonic kind of like. So what conspiracy theory would you say was the most, if you had to, gun to your head?
Well, I'm going to go for a very similar one to Gnome here, which is what I'd like to call the hypostasis of the archons. It's the title of an ancient Gnostic text, and it's essentially arguing for the fact that demons are real. So if I had to bet my life on one, I'd go for that.
Demonology. Brie?
If I had to bet my life on one, I would bet it on the. I hope no one's gonna get in trouble for this, but I would bet on the Heaven's Gate Nibiru soul harvesting conspiracy. It's not even really conspiracy. It's like what the Heaven's Gate people, the cult, actually believes. But I think that they're trying to manifest that along with the Archon bloodlines. So I'm kind of tying it into like what Martin.
I'm gonna be super normie here. I don't know what Heaven's Gate it is really. Like, I know it was in the media. That I know they were a cult, but what did they believe? Like, where were they based? Like, I don't know anything.
So they basically believe like a lot of like, you know, like religious fundamentalist stuff, like keep your body pure for the Lord and et cetera, keep your soul pure for the Lord, live by these tenets. You know, they kind of were like the new wave, bringing in fundamentalism into like a more palatable lens. But I will say you could just sum it up really easily by saying like they're kind of like one line motto, like we have to deliver human souls to Heaven's Gate to please like the Lord or the King of Kings, God, i.e., is what they think they're doing.
Murdering religious
human sacrifice.
Got it. Lucky. If you had to only have one conspiracy theory.
Only one out of like a dozen. What is this? Okay. All right. I would say that demonic possession is real, whether that is through technomancy. You know, other manifestations may be parasitic infestations, for example.
So you're quite the advocate of the worm pill, right? What you call the parasite pill or the worm pill. Can you just explain that to the audience briefly?
Yeah. So briefly, there are various different archons that manifest themselves in this physical realm as parasites. Sometimes they are misinterpreted as serpents, and everyone to some form or another has these. It's very difficult to get rid of them. It's maybe even impossible to get rid of them entirely. I would even go as far to say that Adam's first transgression was probably through eating the apple of knowledge, was also, you know, he had also eaten a demon and was possessed with original sin in that way.
So that's like the motif of the worm in the apple kind of thing of like.
Sure.
All right. Okay. So I want to open it up. I want to let the conversation kind of free flow. Most of you have known each other for a bit or met each other already. Lewis, where do you want to take it from? Where do you want to take it from here, man? Do you think we should just open the floor and let them kind of riff?
I honestly don't have a direction to go in for these.
It's kind of fucked up that you're putting this on Lewis. This is your panel, George. Take control.
Well, I feel like
take initiative, Lewis.
You're right.
Be a man, George.
Let me just dominate. Let me just aggressively dominate this situation.
Yeah, be a man, George.
My problem is, Gnome Chad, that I feel like as a moderator, if I hamper you guys in, if I kind of like don't let it, then it will be too rigid. I just want you to talk. Like, you know what I mean?
I will say just everyone be polite here. Like Lucky has a tendency to take over conversations, no offense.
Not true.
You should see him 10 beers deep.
Lucky, I'll vouch for Lucky. He's been on my stream. He didn't take over the conversation.
Yeah, because it's one-on-one.
And then, you know, we start this off and you're talking a boatload of shit. I mean, I think that's pretty rude, sir.
No, I'm just saying, just be polite, let everyone talk. There's 4 people on the panel. I want to hear each of you guys.
So far, so good. So let's just talk about a little bit about like who you guys are. You don't have to dox ages or locations or anything a little bit, but like what are your opinions of each other? Do you perceive each other as nuts?
Well, no, obviously not. I think like the gay people are nuts, and I'm pretty sure none of us are gay here. So you know, Martin seems pretty cool. We disagree about some things, but I love you, my brother Martin. Brie, pretty cool. Lucky, that's my nigga, bro.
Okay, real. And you'd say you and Lucky agree more on stuff because you're Christian? Because I think finding the dividing lines there could be more interesting.
It comes down to the fact that we're both Balkaners.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, you're Greek, and Lucky is also like a Slavic.
I'm a Greeker, he's a Romena.
Yeah, right.
Romanai, real gypsies. We're gonna reclaim Constantinople.
So do you believe that like ethnicity makes a difference to someone's like magical ability? Like, do you think some races are more magical than others?
Well, like, you know, the Balkans is where all the master races are. That's just what it is.
Where Dracula comes from, for example.
Exactly. So that's just what the Balkans is. Let's be honest. I mean, if we see the Balkans are the most sophisticated, advanced place on Earth, very clearly culturally, like just look at all the wars they had. Nobody has been able to pull off wars like that because the Balkaners are the realest niggas on Earth.
That's a great line of logic, I have to admit.
Gnome, do you want to explain how? Because you guys who don't know Gnome will think Gnome is coming across as like aggressive or whatever. Maybe he's not. He's just Gnome in your day life, day to day. Like you're a boxing trainer, right? Like boxing coach.
A competitive amateur boxer and a boxing coach. Yes.
Right. So you are, and obviously we've been over the whole hit in the head so many times. But explain to people the labyrinth theory of information and how you think. Well, I'll just put it like this: you are an advocate of something called the retard pill.
The retard
You believe that like intelligence is a horseshoe and you can be so retarded that you become clever again, basically.
Yes. And I'm gonna elaborate on that even further. The reason the retarded side is better than the intelligent side is because geniuses are not born. They have a catalyst DNA, right? But they're not born. They acquire it through homosexual behaviors. They eat information, aka the semen. So we look at all the we look at geniuses throughout history. Many of them have homosexual behaviors. We look at successful women in the workplace. Many of them suck a penis to get to the top of corporate offices, and they're smarter than the average woman. It's just the reality. They eat the semen, the information, the life force, the data, and it makes them smarter. Okay, and look, so the dumb people, they don't have to be gay to be wise. And to the labyrinth thing. So the idea is smart people are so retarded actually. They create like this elaborate maze of logic, but like someone who's retarded is just gonna flatten the labyrinth and walk right over it to get to the end. Well, the intelligent person is stuck in this like maze being chased by the Minotaur.
So I'm just going to jump in here and point out that the etymology of the word genius is actually from genie, like genie in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
So someone who is a genius is someone who's possessed by the jinn, by genies, which are the archons or demons or whatever you want to call them. And that's what genius is. So, the human creative process is actually a co-creative process that's guided by the archons. So all human output in creative terms is led by them. Sometimes they put in truth drops, sometimes it's purely deceptive. But you have to understand when you iterate some form of art, whether it be music or visual arts, it's always guided by the hidden hand of the archons.
And what does this
actually, I want to elaborate on that point. So, Martin, what do the jinn eat?
Loosh.
Feces, aka shit, and bone marrow. So, geniuses, first of all, the etymology of that word, right? You have jinn, and the last part is ass, jinn ass. They take it up the ass from jinn. So, they're shit eaters who take it up the ass from jinn. Facts.
This does explain why there's been so many like homosexual geniuses throughout history in a weird kind of perverse logic way. Brie, you're a genius. Is it because you had a promiscuous past? How do you feel about this theory?
It's both. It's both things.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, it's both things. See, yeah. Never mind. I'm not gonna go there. I don't know. I honestly don't even care to talk about myself that much in this regard because we all know I'm possessed, I'm evil, whatever, I'm the devil, blah 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 blah. But I was just gonna say, like, I think that it's a little bit cowardly to be like, okay, since science is taken over by archons and demons and bad energy, and they're just using you as to harvest your illusion and to create like bad timelines. It's like the cowardly religious cuck way of being like, no, we must not ever try to ascend to godhood. We must only respect the god that we are serving under in his fiefdom, like as like feudal lords, basically. Because that's how all these like higher beings operate as anyways. They all operate as like feudal lords that are in control of like mass amounts of people's souls and consciousness. So I think like, okay, so what if there's archons pushing us to like take over godhood? We should just do that. We should keep it.
So what do you think about that, Gnome, Chad?
That is the star, David, as above, so below. Listen. Oh, I don't want to be a slave to God. Well, guess what? You are a slave to technology. You'll be a slave to something. There's no way to surpass that. You talk about soul harvesting, you'll be a slave to something. So if we build the Tower of Babel or whatever the fuck with technology, we're going to be a slave to that. You won't overthrow the creator. We're the created. Get mogged by the creator. He's a real nigga.
Now, your view would rely on the fact that like the Christianity in the Bible is true. I feel like you agree with Brie and Martin up until a certain point, but where they diverge is that they don't necessarily think that the forces running the world are good, but for you, it ultimately goes back to like Jesus, to Christ, to it being like to some sort of central goodness to the universe. I think these guys are a little bit more on the kind of chaos side of things. Lucky, where do you come in on this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it is all chaotic, and you know, I guess the starting point was God, where there was order, and he's kind of just let it play out where he had a. How would I explain this without coming off as a retard like I usually do?
Just
You know,
come
he
up
had
as a
taken
retard.
of his own flesh and had cast it into the fire, right? He had separated good and bad, and he is allowing for himself, as we are in God's image, to determine whether or not we rejoin the ethereal, right, and the one, the kairos, right. So it's I don't know.
It's interesting how some like because it was like Brie sees religion as tools of control. You don't necessarily even disagree with that. I think you even have spoken to me in the past about like how evil people manipulate religion. But you two, Gnome and Lucky, would say at the center core of like Christianity, there's a truth that God did incarnate as a guy, physically in the flesh, came down to earth as a human, and kind of like, and obviously that's a huge distinction because it kind of goes back to everything else. Like that would follow through, I imagine, to everything else. Brie and Martin, you guys don't probably believe that, or if you do, you're not sure. I don't know. Martin, where do you stand on the Jesus pill?
Well, since I read On the Historicity of Jesus Christ by Richard Carrier, I've realized that Jesus wasn't an historical figure. He was rather a mythical character. And so, yeah, anyone who claims that, you know, God manifested himself in the flesh is greatly deluded, unfortunately. But I don't think there's much point in us pursuing this avenue of debate because obviously, you know, half the panel are adamant that Jesus did walk the earth and, you know, I'm adamant that he didn't. So I think it would be better to, what I would like to go back to is what Brielle was talking about earlier about the soul recycling matrix. I think I might have some useful information for people on that topic, if you don't mind. So upon death, archons will come to collect your soul, and you see this tunnel of light. You get sucked up into the tunnel and guided to a place, don't know where it is, maybe it's on the moon, you know, maybe it's in another dimension, where you are put in front of a council of elders or you know, wise ones who pronounce judgment on you and demand that you return back to Earth to fulfill some mission or other. And almost everyone just agrees to that and gets sent back, and then is reincarnated into, you know, a pig or a frog or an insect or whatever, and then you just have to go through again and again. So the trick, in order to escape the soul recycling trap, is to just say no, as Nancy Reagan would say, just refuse to go back. And then you have to answer some questions. So they'll say, where did you come from? And you have to say, you know, I came from the source, or the pleroma. And they say, where are you going after you leave the matrix? And you have to say, I'm going back to where I came from, which is the source. And then they might ask you questions about what the archons are, and the answer is that they're some kind of glitch in the creation, that they're kind of like an abortion or something like that. And then you're free to go off and escape the matrix, and you don't have to have your soul recycled indefinitely and keep living here forever and ever. And you can go off and either be part of the kind of central world where the true creator is, or you can create your own world in the void. People are afraid of going into the void and creating their own world.
You just merged Mormonism, Buddhism, and Christianity in like just one guy. That was really beautiful. Brie, are you leaning more?
If I could, hang on. If I could, I do think Martin is correct. Like everyone in here is already very much set in ways on like their religious thing. So I think it's probably a good idea that this doesn't devolve
Okay.
into like
What
Jesus
I'm gonna
Christ
say,
was real versus. Yeah.
let's be honest. Let's be honest. He's kind of right because if me and Martin debate, really, it's gonna be me like brain damage alpha, and he's gonna be like, British accent, trying to be intellectual, and I'm against intellectualism because I think it's a gay labyrinth,
Yeah, yeah.
and,
So
and
let's
the more turns you add, the more chances of running across homoerotic phenomenon.
let's avoid the religious thing and just let's like avoid that largely, I think.
Well, it's
Anyways,
not
go ahead, Brie.
so much avoiding it as understanding that they're all coming from slightly different perspectives. If I wanted to, I could write the grand unifying schizo theory of everything and be like, God made the universe, but it's controlled by the demon / demiurge / Satan / archons. I could make it all make sense in some way, but I'd rather not.
But like,
I'm just interested in their own.
We don't want you to be the star of this stream. We want these
So
guys
true,
to be.
so true.
George
I
always
don't think Ward wants to be the star either, to be honest with you. He just
Listen.
wants to look.
Fame is a noble.
Look at. We're talking about soul
Achilles.
harvesting. Jord is soul harvesting us for content, guys. Jord,
That
Drew,
is-
by the way, I'm like Jew maxing right now. Please continue.
Lewis, what were you gonna say?
Wait, who should go?
Go, Brie. It's cool.
Okay, so I was gonna add on. I was gonna go into like a like rant or a diatribe, kind of off of what Martin was saying about like kind of tying into Gnosticism and like I mean even like Nation of Islam touches on like the moon base alpha type of stuff, but I'm actually not going to talk about that because I think that'll be like beating a dead horse. I'm going to talk about the what would you call it? There's like a name for it already, but it's basically this concept of like quantum actors, basically like people that are like people or souls or entities or spirits or energy or whatever that is like recycled here on Earth and is used to like kind of churn like the karmic cycles. And when I say like the quantum actors, I literally mean like a league, like a troupe, an actors troupe of like people or time travelers that like kind of start random happenings, supposedly random happenings on Earth, right? To kind of like change these karmic cycles into like different, I don't know, like using transformative energy. It's hard for me to put this into words, but there is actually like a name for this. People say that like that everyone that is famous is part of this actors troupe. Wink, wink. Sorry, I really can't wink. But
Yeah, they're all inbred.
But it's all part of this actors troupe, which I think, tying that into Jesus, last thing I'm going to say is that Jesus, I also agree, is more of a mythological concept or figure or abstraction of truth. Like it's like a role that people have to play in that troupe, you know? Like it's like playing the fool or something like that.
No, what I believe, Jesus literally came to Earth and he created that role. Like a real nigga, he ran through a mountain and created a road to heaven. He ran straight through the mountain, the wall.
That's right.
Yes, my Romanian nigga. Let's talk about it.
Well, let's talk about it. Like, how does that? Martin, you were saying before in a previous stream that that's actually all part of the deception, if you like. And whilst I don't want to like harp on this like division,
I don't want to harp on the Jesus thing. Like it's one of those things.
Going
like,
back to did Jesus exist or not? And I just don't think it's going to change one another's minds on the topic.
It's one of those things where it's like I've already heard like everything all of these guys have to say about it.
Okay, I'll schizo rant about Jesus on my stream tomorrow about how he's the realest nigga ever. Okay.
Yeah. Do that.
Can I say one more thing?
Good.
Yeah, please.
So when I was talking about the roles, I think that it's not even just like one person that embodies it. It can be transferred energy, like the energy can be transferred from person to person, even to animals, to moths, to butterflies, etc. It's like all of consciousness and the things that embody it are just like tuning forks to these types of energies, right? So the archons work the same way. They can go between people, they can go into different beings, into different consciousness. It's all just like frequency, I think. That's
all right. Let me just be a psychic null for a second here. What is a fucking archon? You're all saying this word so casually, like you've all internalized this fucking word. What does it mean?
The planets are alive. The planets are alive, and they be fucking, and they have offspring that bred with humans, archons, or whatever. The Nephilim bloodlines, the gay demonic bloodlines, the gay demons, pretty much.
Damn. Okay. Martin, is that a true definition of what an archon? Obviously, we're dealing with some kind of otherworldly entity. Do different
I don't think
cultures?
they're otherworldly. They're part of this broken, facsimile world. I think, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's a flawed world, but they're part of that. They're part of the design. So yeah, I wouldn't agree with that, but I do agree that they exist beyond space and time.
Right.
I think that kind of like a murder of crows, they have some ability to communicate telepathically with one another. And I think they're also manifested in our bodies as bacteria, microbes in our bodies.
True.
So, there's been some interesting research recently about how our gut feelings, there's some science that's kind of proven that the brain is linked to the stomach and the intestines. So I think somehow there are some like good bacteria in our gut, which gives us our gut feelings. Obviously, gut in German is gut, and we have good and God. They're very, very similar words. So I think the gut feeling is your conscience, your intuition. Now, here's a little wordplay for you. What's the opposite of conscience? Take off the con and it's science. What's the opposite of tuition? Take off the in, it's tuition. The things we're taught in school, our tuition teaches us to believe things that go contrary to our gut instincts, our intuition, our conscience. And science teaches us to go against our conscience, to ignore your lying eyes, kind of thing. So that's another little etymological clue.
That was so good.
Yeah, like faith.
Okay.
Faith.
So
look. I just want to say,
like, demons might be having a war on the micro level in like the gut biome, like of each person, like that it could be, or
well, yeah, like how gays get AIDS.
Yeah. So
100 demons.
Real, but you see in the Disney cartoons, there's a little angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other, and they're both trying to persuade the protagonist that their suggested course of action is the right one to do. We are facing that on a moment-to-moment basis, where the archons are trying to get us to do the wrong thing, and the angel entities, who are weaker, I believe, than the demonic ones, sadly, in our world. That's kind of what's inside us, what's driving us. That's our soul, the Christ consciousness, or whatever that we've got within us. In Japanese, there's this great phrase, "Oni wa soto," demons are outside. And once a year, there's a festival where you throw beans at a demon that comes to your door. But those demonic evil thoughts that pop into our head, the urge to do something immoral, to do something bad, or to do something that somehow benefits the evil entities, comes from outside us, whereas the impulse to do good stuff comes from within us. So I think that's an important distinction to maintain. I'm not saying that absolves anyone of responsibility or culpability for doing evil acts, but it is an interesting way to look at it. I think previously I may have mentioned Jerry Marzinski. There's some good content on YouTube.
Right, yeah, who had studied into schizophrenia and patients.
Yes.
He was saving these people's lives.
You have to let the demons in. You have to let the demons in.
Right. So just say no to the demons, and you'll pursue the right course of action, I think.
Demons, just like the theory that geniuses are smart, they have to be inserted, they have to penetrate by consent.
Somebody says here, bro's called Schizo Guy, but doesn't even know about Flat Earth.
Yeah, I saw that too.
No. Look, I'll vouch for him. I know.
He's not a spinning spheroid.
No, he's a flat earther. He's a flat earther. Because it's not even being a flat. It's knowing the Earth is flat because it's retarded that we're in a space ball in fucking space. Like, come on, you cucks. Come on, you fucking round Earth cucks. What the fuck is wrong with you?
It goes without saying, guys.
Martin, if you'd like to take Gnome Chad's retardation and make it make sense, like flat Earth.
Yes. Well, I used to fly quite a lot from Tokyo to New York, and I would always take pictures out of the window of the plane, and it's obviously flat. It's flat if you ascend a tall building. It's flat if you go to Portishead in the UK, which I did, and you can see Wales on the other side, proves there's no curve, or the Earth must be hundreds of times larger than they claim. There are just dozens and dozens of instances. You can prove it to yourself very easily. It just takes 10 minutes, 20 minutes on YouTube. You can, the scales will fall from your eyes, and you will realize. So yes.
Yeah, well, look at flight paths and emergency stops.
Well, isn't it funny? Sorry for cutting you off. Isn't it funny how airplanes, like their pilots, they use flat Earth maps? It's pretty funny.
Yeah, they use like azimuthal maps. Look, I get what you're saying. It's like 5 a.m. for me, and I don't want to turn this into a flat Earth debate. Brie, are we 4 for 4 on flat Earth? Do you all agree that the Earth is flat, or are you agnostic on the?
I'm kind of, I don't know, jury is still out for me, but I'm kind of believing it more and more.
I get that if it's a simulation and you've got the data, like the ones and zeros of matter and antimatter, you could render that as a ball or you could render that as a plane. It doesn't really matter. I understand the kind of logic, but guys, like when the moon goes in front of the sun during an eclipse, the only way to explain that in a flat Earth model is that there's some kind of secondary black sun in the sky. Yeah. Like that doesn't really like.
Well, I mean, George, go look at Hinduism, right? They actually this has been documented over thousands of years. During certain eclipses, you can actually see the moon, and they try to lie and say it's the reflection of the moon. But the reality is that's actually the moon, and that's the sun is the masculine energy, the moon is the feminine energy. All the cult literature will tell you this because everything in the cult literature is sexual, right? It's about the phalluses and the triangles.
I'll give you the following concessions, which are real concessions, okay? There are some weird things going on with Antarctica. There is some really weird shit going on with space control. Most phone signals do go from tower to tower. There aren't as many satellites as
George,
they say.
Shut up and let them
I'm
go.
just saying,
George, you want to harvest me for content and then you're going to cut me off? Fuck you, George.
Sorry. Please resume.
I did. Quit making this about you. Let these people cook, bro.
So
interfere when they need it.
In Hindu mythology, in all these mythologies, you see a depiction of a black sun because during eclipses, you want to know why? The hermaphrodite sun, the bridging of the feminine and masculine energies. You could see the black sun, Baphomet, Rahu, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? This. In the Bible, let's go back to the Bible. It's prophesied in the end times, the sun will be blacked out. The hermaphrodite sun, the as above, so below gay shit, right? The bridging of duality. That's what they believe. So we talk about, eclipses only work if you believe the black sun. People for thousands of years have known about the black sun. Thousands of years.
It's just being obscured in modern times.
Yeah. Yes. Oligarchy. Yeah, to keep everyone as these like goy fucking, like retards just walking around, Look, I don't think it's any coincidence that throughout every single, micro civilization, throughout all of history, as we can understand or possibly know, that there has been some resemblance or figure that is a black sun. Mm-hmm. There's no coincidence in that.
Well, let me elaborate on that. Hindu mythology, the supposed oldest religion on earth, that's completely made up, by the way, or whatever they say it is, something like that, has something called shadow planets, the black sun, for eclipses. The ancient Mesopotamians, I think it was Inanna or some shit, the hermaphroditic priestess, whatever the fuck you want to call them, princesses, they believed when the eclipse happened, they were empowered as hermaphrodites. I have a theory. If someone's conceived during an eclipse, the baby will most likely be a hermaphrodite. And there's no research that's ever been done on that, but I can guarantee that pretty much. I just know.
Donald Trump was supposedly born on an eclipse.
And I'm a big believer. Donald Trump is a hardcore cultist, and that's not really a belief. That's just it's obvious. He's a fucking president. Do you know about the ritual that they do to become president?
No, tell me.
I imagine it's something I'd smoke him for.
They have to get sodomized by the previous president in a coffin. This is as old as ancient Egypt, in a coffin covered in feces and virgin boy blood to transfer the demon over that's held within the president.
Right, I doubt that would actually be necessary, but yeah, okay.
No, because we're talking about ancient entities like the Egyptian pantheon, like these ancient entities. They used to do that to young Egyptian boys. that were going to become the pharaoh, they would actually have to, because all the presidents are related, right? So their bloodline is able to harness a specific entity. So within ancient Egypt, to become a pharaoh, they would take the young pharaoh and their relative, and they force the young pharaoh. First, they would gang rape him, and then he would have to cannibalize their relative, and then they would spend 3 days in a dark coffin covered in his blood and feces. They carried that. Look at all the Egyptian symbolism within American political culture. They learned from that, bro.
Right. Well, the fasces are prominently displayed in a lot of those federal symbols, bundle of sticks and all that. Yes, Kenny, I'm in Japan. I was going to actually just bring it back to talking about the flight paths and ask people to check out my playlist, No Jet Fuel on Flat Earth, which is a compilation of videos talking about how jet fuel is a hoax and the airplanes are actually powered by compressed air and not liquid gas. Don't know if you guys do a lot of air travel, but you'll see the pump carts, pretending to fill up planes with liquid gas, but it's not actually true.
So
Well,
Loki mentioned something.
Like, it's so obvious. I mean, the 7-Eleven job application that happened back in 2001. I mean, like, just give me a break, man. You think jet fuel is gonna fucking do that shit? It's bullshit. Never happened. Fictitious.
I actually have I'm not scared of flying in an airplane, but when I see an airplane overhead, I'm just like, it's a little intimidating. It's like, that's fucked up. This giant metal thing flying through the earth, and people don't even believe in magic. What is wrong with these motherfuckers? Bro, it's tens of thousands of pounds of metal just flying through the air for hours. What the
Well, it would be even more impossible if the wings were filled with liquid.
Yeah, it doesn't add up.
It only makes sense if the wings are hollow, right? So,
yeah. So, we talk about airplanes. Like, what the fuck, bro? If you really look at the airplane of the context of this gay shit is a fucking occult device, it makes more sense than science. Gay science. Science is for cucks. Science.
So I understand what Lucky's talking about when he says the kind of mindless goy thing, right? Like the reason that I got interested in flat Earth and watching like Eric Dubé's stuff. There's a great documentary by Eric Dubé called Level, which I would highly recommend you watch. It was mainly because of Antarctica and how sketchy it is. But the thing that made me look into it the most was meeting normal people, like meeting normal retards who told me that they'd been in planes and they'd been to 35,000 feet on a commercial airliner on a flight and seen with their own eyes the curve of the Earth, which even NASA will say you have to be like 250,000 feet up at 8 miles per or whatever it is squared. There's some serious questions to be asked, but does that mean that Lucky, Gnome, Chad, and Martin, you all believe in the existence of this black sun?
I do.
I could go either way.
It's such an important. I know it's a bit of a minutia, but it's such an important point for me because a lot of things don't make sense. The photos released often don't have stars in them, or the planets are the wrong size. But they have all these excuses. The one thing that really seems to be an argument in their favor for me is that a couple times every however long, 10 years, the moon goes in front of the sun. And
check out Eric Dubé's video, like eclipses prove flat Earth. I don't see how that's an argument. I mean, let's say that they are both apertures in the dome, and they just happen. First of all, it used to be called the grand coincidence. The fact that the sun and the moon are exactly the same size in an eclipse, and one can go, block out the other. You cannot explain that from random chance, just because the sun is this far away and the moon is this far away, and from our perspective, they block one another out. It's just a big coincidence. That's just obviously nonsense.
Hold up, some cuck in the chat just said, shortwave radios can prove the curvature. Hey, motherfucker, you don't know how radio waves work. The radio operators don't know how radio waves work. The only people that know how radio waves work are the people who have access to hidden technology, and the argument for it is, capitalism, we don't want this shit getting leaked because they'll steal our process. You don't know how radio waves work. Neither do the actual radio operators. You fucking dumbass. It's like you saying you know how circuit boards work. Just cry about it, kid. Cope and seethe. You're fucking getting destroyed right now.
Yeah, I didn't think waves could curve anyway.
Let Martin
I didn't
go.
think
Yeah.
I thought waves had to go in a straight line, like building to, but they have to be thrown from a tall building to another tall building across a flat plane.
Just
Like,
absolute absurdity. Absurdity.
I did think the radio waves argument was kind of weak, but if you read NASA's own paperwork on radio wave, they all say all radio wave technology assumes flat Earth, like from the beginning, like that. That's like NASA don't like, but whatever. I'm not gonna get into that.
Let Martin go. Like George, you're hogging the fucking screen.
Sorry,
time.
Brie, you haven't spoken for a while. Why don't you tell us your thoughts, even if you're a bit agnostic on this one?
No, I actually do have thoughts on this one. Like I was saying earlier about Nibiru, or like Planet X, some people call it. I think that is actually what the black sun is, or it somehow is related to that black sun. I don't know enough about like what the black sun is supposed to represent to really say for sure, but I would just think that like the whole Heaven's Gate philosophy, when they were kind of like convincing people to kill themselves, the whole call was basically they were saying that like Nibiru was going to collide with Earth, and it was going to become like it was going to bring about this like catastrophic apocalypse or something, unless the appropriate souls were given back to that planet. So I think that like there is probably some sort of collision or some sort of eclipse, perhaps.
Okay,
in, like,
hold up.
sense.
One thing. George, stop being a Jew. Kenny donated, but you should ignore it because he said some Coomer shit about praising Lilith. Lilith is the whore.
Okay, I won't show it.
Secondly, SH, if nobody knew how radio waves work, there would be no telecommunication. You inbred reader. The elite scientists know how they work, but not us. They don't reveal how it works to us. You fucking retard.
No, we'll get to the chat. Relax.
No, I'm logging the chat right now.
To be fair, no one on Earth is going to be allowed to know the technology that's keeping the veil down, because that would break reality for our consciousness.
Explain what you mean by veil.
Like for example, people say that planet, I'm just going to say in the most literal sense, I think that there's like a psychic veil or whatever you want to call it, but in the most literal sense, that planet Nibiru is like cloaked, like nobody on this dimension could see it or could access it theoretically.
Right.
So it's like that veil of, I don't know, it's like obviously I'm referencing like invisibility or whatever, but I think it's more spiritual than that somehow. It's like not that we just can't see it, it's like we're not allowed to because we haven't reached a certain level yet. That was what the Heaven's Gate people all talked about. They're like, we're going to the next level, and so they all killed themselves so they could send their spirits to that
planet thing. So dark, so fucking dark.
Very sad that they didn't have the information that I gave earlier about how to escape the soul recycling matrix by refusing to return, because now they're all frogs and pigs and insects. But anyway, I would say if there is a black sun, it's underneath the Earth, and it's somehow like a mirror or the inversion of our sun. So projecting evil energy from beneath the Earth up through the hole at the center of the disk, something like that. But again, it's very, very difficult to pass the truth here because so much information is just mumbo jumbo nonsense bullcrap, and we're not allowed to research it for ourselves.
Yeah, and if you do, you're anti-Semitic.
Right, or a schizo, like me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I noticed that Jobo Hobo said we should just astral project up there. I'll work on that, and I'll get back to you when I have the time frame to do that. So,
astral has got the ass in it, right, Gnome?
Well, because yeah, exactly. So we look at it, right? Astral. You don't need to astral project. When you have faith in God, you don't need to do any occult rituals because you just ask God for it, the Father.
Yo, hang on. I wanted to say,
Lewis, you hold on, motherfucker. You hold on. Don't make me get
the chat. Hang on, the chat. Someone said that none of these people will ever reproduce. For your information, Martin Schizo guy has 3 children, so at least one of them has reproduced.
Joke's on you, incel.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chuck. The Schizo gets the girl in real life.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of homosexuals in chat coping about the truth because
No, hold on.
they're
What's happening
indoctrinated.
is
Okay,
there's
look,
about
look, look,
five
look.
or so people. Wait 1 second. No, there's about 5 or so people in chat from the Thorpe community, from Ben Thorpe's community, and Ben Thorpe is
Hey, I don't
simultaneously
care about them.
telling us that we're
This is
schizo losers,
George.
and
I
at the
don't care.
same time
I don't care
trying
where
to
they're
get
from.
on the
I don't care
panel.
where they're
So
from.
it's
I
difficult.
don't care where they're from. I'm calling them homoerotic because look, they're in chat. Oh, but my science teacher told me that radio waves work like this. Oh, my science teacher told me this is how this works. First of all, I physically mauled your science teacher. That's just a fact. I beat them in a boxing match. That's just a fact, okay? And then look at this. The retard pill. I'd destroy any Harvard professor in a debate. It wouldn't even be close. They would just start crying. They would just
You
start
would
crying.
just slug them. You just
Well,
slug them.
they start crying because they have to go by the book. I don't have to go by the book. So they'll say, "Oh, but my train of logic thinks this." These are the same people that think gender is fluent. So their train of logic doesn't really matter because I could just say, "Oh, that's made up." I don't feel like that's the real logic because they're fucking homoerotic. They're Satanist pigs that worship intellectualism. I destroy every single Harvard professor in a debate, one-on-one, easily.
Yo, I should
mean-
note that we will be taking. Hang on, we will be taking calls later, like down the stream, but only from Cube residents. Otherwise, go fuck yourself.
Real.
Well, here's the dead air.
No,
Dead
dead
air.
air is good.
Well,
We don't
dead
want
air
to
is
be.
actually good. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to be creating some kind of fucking fake,
Wait, Jobo
inauthentic.
Hobo asks, is the tinfoil dude white? I'm Greek, so I'm technically black.
Real. Now the Thorpes think they triggered you. Most of these people don't even know who you are, Grace. Chill out about it. It's not that big of a deal. Flat Earth
The
comes from.
Thorpes are literally tied into the Heaven's Gate conspiracy. Sorry, not sorry.
Gnome Chad, could you share your thoughts on Ben Thorpe briefly for the
I
chat?
don't care. I don't know them.
No, but could you?
I
No,
don't
but
care.
just-
This is our panel,
Yeah.
Louis. This is our panel, Louis.
I
Stop
know,
being
but just
homosexual.
briefly explain, like, to the people in the comment section who
This
Ben
is so
Thorpe is.
good.
The
Stop
satanic
being a
Nephilim.
homosexual, Louis. I don't care about the Thorpes. I care about the flat Earth. I care about Jesus. Jesus is a real nigga.
Real.
I care about God. I don't care. This is our panel. Like we got my boy Lucky here. We got Brie. We got Schizo guy Martin. Let's talk about some real shit. Okay. Why are we talking about
Bunch of
this internet beef?
fucking
Jordan, no offense. I don't care about your internet beef. Louis, I don't care about your internet beef.
Real.
Internet beef isn't
All
even
right.
real. You can't eat it.
So no.
There's no sustenance in it.
So no.
What?
What if I told you that God was just like a selfish king that was evil and wanted your
He's a
soul?
jealous
so that
God in his base. Cry about it.
Oh God,
Based.
please don't talk about God.
It's based.
People, could we please not?
It's based. You want to know? He's a jealous God. He loved us so much. He let us free, and he said, "Hey, you could choose to come back, or you could choose to go wherever you want." I choose to go back to my homie, to my father, the real one, God.
I
Okay.
gotta say, love my daddy. I don't know.
Real ones. What would be another? Let's talk about Tartaria. Martin Schizo guy is a hardcore believer in it.
Yes.
What's his name? Gnome Chad believes at least 300. Gnome Chad believes at least 300 years of world history is fake. I don't know about the other two, what their opinions of it are. I don't even know if Brie even knows what that is.
I know like vaguely of it, but I don't really know enough to be convinced. I mean, I do think there's a lot of history that's fake. I just am not so sure about like here I am being like, there's a planet we can't see, but I don't know if that continent existed. I just don't know about Tartaria in specific. I know I like believe
No.
in Atlantis.
Tartaria wasn't a separate continent. It was an empire on the Eurasian continent.
It's
Oh.
Russia, modern day Russia.
With a bit of China and Mongolia.
Yeah. So where did you want us to go with the Tartaria thing, Lewis?
Honestly, I was just Gnome Chat that like he thinks years of world history is faked. You believe in Tartaria straight up. I was just wondering like if you could compare notes basically on what you think on that.
Yeah, I mean, we have discussed Tartaria on this channel before, right? Most people think it's an anti-white conspiracy largely. I know basically there's a guy called Anatoly Fomenko, who's like a Russian mathematician, and he thinks that the US and the Jesuits and Rome, they've like remade history, basically. I think a lot of people here think that it's like Russian propaganda. I certainly would fall into that category. I definitely think it's more Russian propaganda. But do you want to just explain for anyone who hasn't, like, what it is and why you believe in it?
Sure. Well, there's a lot of evidence in some historical documents and maps that show, Tartaria, where Russia is today. And if you combine that with evidence of a mud flood, where a lot of buildings we have in major cities are strangely built so that the ground floor is kind of half under mud or earth, it kind of fits together that somehow there was a flood which occurred far more recently than is claimed, and that the post-Diluvian winners, if you like, were the evil ones, and they decided that it would be more convenient for them to just erase any records of this civilization, which was seemingly very advanced technologically, peaceful and nice and good and white. So yes, it has to be erased from our collective memories. It is very difficult, once again, to research this because there's very little evidence left, and Fomenko did a great job proving that ancient civilizations are fake. Then extrapolating beyond that is something that's happened far more recently. I think it's a very, very recent discovery that's just emerged through the internet, and truthers like myself doing research into it and just extrapolating the conclusions. But yeah, I mean, what are the implications for us? Not a lot, really. Just that a bunch of history is fake, and we already knew that, so it doesn't really help us very much. But I would say, Russian propaganda, I don't buy that so much. I mean, you ask the average Russian who Anatoly Fomenko is, and they have absolutely no idea. I don't think Russian people are aware of this. Maybe that was the pretext for Fomenko having been commissioned to do the work, along with several other researchers he was working with. But that's my take on it in short.
Martin, SH said you have no mana. What do you eat? What's your diet like?
I eat a lot of meat.
Yeah, but like what kind of meat? 'Cause you're in Japan right now, right?
Yeah.
It's the crab people stealing your mana. You have to
Okay.
be the crab people.
People, excuse me, I'm not familiar with this.
The crab people?
No, I don't know what the fuck
So
that
let's
is.
look at samurai armor. It's literally a crab shell. There's a crab called the samurai ghost crab. You guys all look this up. The Japanese believed when samurai die, they would be reincarnated as a crab. The Japanese stem from the sea. They're crab people. It's that simple, really. I mean, just look how they behave. Look how they look. Look what they wear. They're crab people.
Interesting take. Okay.
And
Anyways, I'll continue
let's be honest. Let's be honest. They want to fuck the squids. The squids are the Koreans. Hentai, tentacle porn. The squids are the Koreans.
It's a very niche thing, though, the tentacle porn. I mean, no one I know is into that or has ever consumed.
Why would they admit it?
It's just one of those curiosities that Westerners pick up on, and it's in no way representative of the average Japanese person. I think I'm brimming with mana. I'm overflowing with mana, just because I reject the archons and I've purged myself of them. So yeah, that's an accusation that I resent.
Sounds like a cope to me, to be honest.
What does?
That you resent my accusation. It's not an accusation. They're crab people. Or are you talking about the mana? I just zoned out for a little bit.
Mana. Someone's saying I don't have mana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Hawaiians believe you eat long pig for mana.
Did not know that.
They were cannibals. Long pig is cannibalism. The Hawaiians. I mean, they got mauled by your English ancestors, though. You know about that, right? Because you guys. So the British Empire was like a giant mana absorbing empire. That's what all empires are pretty much. But like, it was a really recent one. But you guys mogged the Hawaiians, so you guys had more mana than them. But maybe you stole their practices to beat them at their own mana game. You ever thought about that?
Yo, I'm
Well,
gonna.
Don't say you, because it's not me. I'm not responsible for the British Empire. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm not culpable for that. I'm not culpable for the.
Wait, don't you believe in reincarnation?
Yes, reincarnation is real, but
I'm not
why
saying it's a
would-
bad thing. I'm actually saying it's pretty sick that you guys mogged on the Hawaiian savages who were eating long pig.
Okay, but it's not you guys, is it? It's those guys. That's nothing to do with me. Me and my ancestors have absolutely no responsibility for the British Empire. Or why are you blaming?
I'm gonna be
me?
back in a few minutes.
I'm not blaming you. Actually, I am
Saying
blaming you.
guys
So I'm
did
saying
this,
it's
you
sick.
guys
It's
fucked
based.
over the
Sick. Oh,
Hawaiians.
sorry for using sick. That's double speak. I don't like double speak. It's based.
Based in what? That's
Based-
nothing speak.
Based in
That's
mogology.
absurd.
They mogged. They mogged.
That means nothing. I would
It means
rather have
everything.
double speak. I would rather have double speak than something that means nothing.
It means everything.
Also, something about the mana thing. You know the way that you get like like a large store of mana is either from like genetics or like merging with archons by cannibalism or eating shit. So
These people
why is it good
eating
to have a
ball
lot of
worshippers.
mana? If you're close to Lord, don't you not need mana because he'll do everything for you? Aren't you
Yeah,
supposed
no,
to
that's
be meek
true.
and mild?
That's
Isn't that the dynamic?
That's true, and I'm unfortunately of this world right now. I'm trying to transcend it. I'm stuck in this world, and I'm
Okay, but to
corrupted
transcend it, you need to
rescue.
eat shit.
No, that would give you mana.
Yeah, so don't you need to have mana to transcend this world?
No, mana is a demonic energy in this world. Okay, so it's like if you go and fuck bitches, they believe that gives you mana. I want a wife. I don't want to go fuck bitches. But look, that's evil. That's demonic. Mana is demonology. It's using demonhood in the material world. Sick and tired of these
Listen,
witches and
then
wizards.
I'm sorry, I misconstrued what mana meant. To me, it's positive magical energy, life force, like Christ energy. So I would like to
That's
think
right.
that I've got a lot of that, and to me, it's just synonymous with truth. Truth is positive energy. Truth is good. Truth is, we'd say manna from
No,
heaven.
mana is your prominence.
Heavenly thing, surely. It's the
But
Mana-
food.
this is like
Mana is your
This is
prominence.
Let Brie
Mana is
go.
your prominence. Your
this is
protrusion.
like
Your
this is
phallic
like one of the
protrusion. That's
this is like
mana.
one of the distortions within religion, though. So hear me out, because
No.
yeah, you don't want to. I know. You'd rather be in the feudal system your whole existence. I know
Yes,
you.
I'm a slave of God.
So, anyways, I think that it's like one of those hypocrisies of religion. Like, stay meek and mild so that you can serve your feudal lord, the god that you sign your soul over to. And it's like, is that really what a god would want from you? Like, I think it's a little bit.
Because look, the material is shit. Material is nothing. Material all fades. It all breaks down. God wants us to have eternal life. You could worship the material. You could be a slave to material if you want. That's retarded. You could try to be powerful within the material. But truth be told, when you die, we all die. It's nothing.
What is nothing?
Material. Material fades.
But isn't your soul immaterial?
Yes, and then
You
you go
see,
to
I
God.
think you
and you
can
get
have a mix
immortality.
of both the soul and mana, which usually ends up being a shadow soul. Now, it's not good to feed the geese, so to speak, too much, but I think that there is a balance that should be had, just as long as you aren't going around, just constantly casting spells. Like positive energy being something of the truth, and negative being an application onto whatever physical or metaphysical entity you are applying it unto, right? So I wouldn't necessarily think it's bad to have mana when you have the soul, like like ether energy as well. You kind of mix both. With that being said, you're not really supposed to practice magic in that way. Even in the way that we speak English, we could. And Gnome Chad, you and I were speaking about this the other day, because you and I kind of speak like fucking shit kickers, right? It is casting a spell. It is a manipulation of other people around us. Even that in itself, you wonder why so many monks swear, a vow of silence for the rest of their lives, is because even just speaking English in the way that we are right now, I could rephrase the same thing that I literally just said any innumerable way, and it could still bring, about the same consequences in other people. So even just speaking is applying mana in one form or another.
In the Garden of Eden, God provided all we needed. We didn't need any rituals. Everything we do is an occult ritual, a ritual, and then you add the occult aspect to it. We further and further from God as we become more and more independent from God. It's Luciferianism. We're building our way to our own heaven away from God. That's Lucifer wanted to be greater than God. He rules the earth. We keep getting more and more. We keep charging our mana more and more. We keep trying when it could be done through God. We don't need all these rituals. The device I'm on right now, the circuitry of it resembles sigils, demonic sigils. The demons pulse through it. I'm communicating with a dude in Japan or Tokyo or whatever, a dude in Canada, and I think Bree's in America. Why?
So wait,
Why?
going back to what you said about God wanting you to like stay chaste until marriage and then only have intercourse during marriage, and that being like a buildup of your mana, loosh, etheric energy, whatever you want to call it, chi, life force energy, because of that God approved sharing between like a certified partner through the ring. What do you think about that? Do you think like that expanding your mana in that way? I mean, I'm just curious what you think.
Well, because of original sin is real. The flesh is of sin. We have to procreate somehow. We have to go on life somehow. God gave us an okay on marriage as a ritual, on conception of a family as a ritual, because we have to survive still. So God gave us ways to survive in a holy way, in a permitted way. But originally, we didn't need all this stuff.
What do you mean by originally? Like before
in the Garden
what?
of Eden.
Okay.
So specifically before Adam's first transgression, right? Oh, sorry, someone's committing a crime. Just
Yes, in the Garden of Eden, God was the provider. We didn't need all this other stuff. Now, as we've gone further and further, we do need it because we're further from God, and we just keep going further and further instead of, okay, God gave us a way to do it. I'm okay with that. Now we need this, we need that, we need this. Why do we need it? We don't. That's the simple answer, but we keep going further and further.
The simple answer is, why do we need God? If we're moving further and further away successfully, why do we need God?
Because the soul belongs to him.
Why does the soul belong to him?
Because
what is the equivalent exchange? What is no? What? Wait. So do you belong to your parents as an item that can be redeemed at your
My parents were created by God too.
Okay. Well, you can go up the line, yeah.
There's no point talking about this kind of stuff on this stream because obviously...
Yeah. The God thing, we're just gonna get bogged down.
It's gonna be around in circles. Garden of Eden isn't real. Yes, it is. Original sin is true. No, it isn't. We're just gonna go back and forth, and no one's gonna achieve anything. It's not entertaining for viewers. So
and not only that, but also it's like
what the fuck do you think about dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs are not real. Fake.
Yeah. All right. Now, why? Why do you think so, sir?
Because they want us to think the Earth is a lot older than it really is.
Right. So you think that they're just like really big lizards that were just like normally around, like even maybe, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years ago, something like that? I'm of that opinion.
No,
Wait, hold up.
It's fake. They just faked it. There were no giant lizards.
We could get back to the
bones
dinosaurs.
or something else. You go to a museum and ask to see the actual bones, and they'll tell you, "We're sorry, we don't have any actual bones. These are just replicas of the actual thing." So there are no real dinosaur bones. every time it's always a fucking boar or an elephant or anything but
Yeah.
a fucking lizard.
Elephant.
Fucking dinosaur bones. Eric Dubay's great on this as well. You look into the history of the dinosaur craze, which began in the mid-19th century. These are just charlatan fakers who came up with this idea. And you go to a fucking bookstore, go to the kids section, you will always see books about dinosaurs and space. These are number one things. Next, ancient Egypt. You were talking about pharaohs and this and that. It's also totally fake. Everything you see in the kids' bookstore is just brainwashing for toddlers. There's no fucking dinosaurs, no fucking space. It's all lies. And this is something that people do. Think how many Star Wars fans and Star Trek fans who dedicate their entire fucking lives to this fantasy of being able to travel outside of the dome.
Martin, I was raised at Commie on the fucking Star Trek bullshit. I was chilling with my mother after working with her for the day, and it's like, oh, you want to watch Deep Space Nine? It's like, yeah, fine, I'll watch Deep Space Nine. I'll laugh at the fucking Ferengis, because they're space Jews and shit. Yeah, I think I got a kick out of it, but
makes me so mad.
It's interesting, right? Because a lot of Christians will cope on the dinosaur shit, as if it was like after the fall of the vapor canopy and the Great Deluge, the Great Flood, that like humans started getting progressively smaller, right? Humans used to actually be much larger. Giants, even outside of Nephilim, men were probably twice, thrice the size, even 4,000 years ago. So
they teach us the exact opposite. They take you to an old house from a couple of centuries and go, oh, see how the doors are small because people used to be smaller back in the day. Once again, it's a satanic reversal, a complete 180-degree reversal of the truth.
Gnome Chad wants to talk about the dinosaurs.
Okay. So I don't believe all the dinosaurs are real, but I do think certain ones, like the pterosaurs, were aside humans. There's and like there's some like the accounts of dragons and stuff. And they used like made up like all this bullshit around it to justify the fact that there's these giant bird bones and shit like that. You get what I'm saying? So like the pterosaur pill, I'm big on the pterosaur pill. But so yeah, I'd agree. Generally though, all that shit's made up. But like there are some like pterosaurs were real and still were up until early Americas. There's pictures of that. Like half the cryptids you could look into are pterosaurs. Descriptions of people that wouldn't know what a fucking pterosaur is. That's pretty interesting. So they just made up all this other shit to justify the fact that there's these giant bird bones. But someone asked about aliens. I'm very passionate about aliens, okay? Because my whole thing about the aliens is I believe the planets are alive. They're sentient deities. The deities, they're the false authorities, the space balls, the false authorities of space. Their aliens are their offspring. The aliens are their offspring. And they're going to deceive us through science. They're going to deceive us through calling science. And then the offspring of the planets, they're going to fake an alien invasion, and that's going to be the offspring of the planets.
Right.
The demons. And they're going to cover them up, calling them aliens. Scientific, right?
Yeah. I'd just like to say real quick in the chat, because I noticed that we still have some shit kickers. Yeah, Grace, you still live with your incestuous father. Unlike you, I visit my parents as often as I can, and I look after them. So, maybe hold your fucking tongue, bitch. Anyway.
we got a super chat that said, address the reptilian Jews and mana snatchers. Anyone want to talk about that?
Oh, sure. So the reptilian people are real, obviously. The Jews, they rejected Christ and they're Baal worshippers overall. A lot of people are Baal worshippers, but the Jews, like Israel. So if you look at the Israel-Palestine conflict, it's really just a cuck ritual. The cuck ritual is a ritual of Baal. The one doing the fucking is called the bull. The land is the bride, and the person watching the fucking is the cuck, right? It's a ritual of Baal. So we look at Israel-Palestine. The land is the bride. Israel is the bull. Palestinians are the cucks posing for Israel's camera. It's a ritual of Baal. They worship Baal.
Brie, you got anything you want to comment on that?
There is something to be said about that because, the Zionists, like, what do you want to call it? Just the Zionists in general have been like mass, putting the Palestinians under like mass observation, especially recently. They've put out like a lot of cameras to like capture their faces. And I think, just as an aside, literally capturing someone's face, like facial recognition technology, mapping their face out, is a way to harness their life energy without really having to do anything to manipulate them. So you're right. I agree with you. But I would even say it goes deeper as far as like sacred sacrificial rituals that are sponsored by Christians to use Jews as debt trap little, what would you call it? Thingamajig, like the basically the relationship is this. Like everybody talks about usury, everybody talks about how the Catholics could not have like loans taken out under their names or whatever with that accrued interest or something. I think that's like the premise. Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
Hold up. Sniper said, "Oh, have actual white people on the panel."
Okay, don't interrupt me if I'm in the middle of a
Yeah,
thought.
no, chat.
No, that was rude. That was rude. To read the chat,
rude.
seriously, that was rude.
It was very rude, and I apologize, but I'm going to continue.
That was rude. Thank you
Martin
for apologizing.
Is a real white guy.
Anyways,
Martin
as I was saying,
Martin is a real white guy.
So as I was
I'm Greek, so I'm not white. I'm black because I'm Greek.
And now you're just
Romanian.
interrupting me to ramble about racial. Like,
yeah.
Can someone
No,
mute him?
could you let Brie do her thing instead of reading the Thorpe trolls in the chat?
Yeah, please go.
Okay.
So where was I? I was talking about usury. As I said, a lot of the reason why Catholics think they can keep themselves like spiritually pure is through different mechanisms. Yeah, but the economic one has to do with the usury. They didn't want to be able to. It's pronounced usury, but they didn't want to have to take loans that would accrue interest basically over time and then have to like make payments to a banker. I'm doing a terrible job explaining this, but it comes down to the fact that the Catholics were basically using Jewish people as like tax men, like tax collectors in a sense, and like loan sharks, because it was like against their religion to do it themselves. So that is like I don't know, it's kind of a boring, like nothing burger if you don't look at it in like an abstract sense of the economic, spiritual, energetic exchange system matrix. Because there is something at play there. And there's a reason that the Jews are scapegoated in every single iteration of this play, whatever you want to call it. And it even goes deeper than just the superficial scapegoating. It goes to like literally ritualistic sacrifice of Jewish people and children to Moloch, to these different entities, and even to the sun god, who is represented in Christianity by Jesus. So it really makes you wonder, considering Jesus was a Jew. There's all these different layers to this, but basically what I'm saying is we sacrifice Rothschilds to the sun to power our dying star. And it all ties back to Abrahamic religion's energetic exchange and basically tax collecting. I don't know what I was even going to tie that into, but that's all.
No, it was an insightful take nonetheless.
So my take on the reptilians and the greys, and also possibly Bigfoot / Yeti, would be that they are subterranean creatures, subterranean dwelling creatures, who are going to be wheeled out when the fake alien invasion happens, and then people are going to think they're from a different planet, but they're actually from our planet, and they are terrestrial beings, but they're subterranean. That's my take on it. Now, how that relates to the chosen people remains to be seen. I do think that the scapegoat thing is quite a plausible theory. Obviously, a lot of the elites are from that particular tribe, but obviously we can't tar all of those people with the same brush, and there are lots of people at the top who either ostensibly are not, or claim to be not, and who are, or who are either, from some other religious background, which is essentially Satanism. I think we can all agree on that.
Sure.
Yes, maybe the state that they have in the Middle East is unfair to the Palestinians, but I don't think that's any of our business, really. The funny thing is, that's not actually the spiritual or the original place of origin of that tribe. They actually come from southern Iberian Peninsula, places like Barcelona.
I thought they were Khazarians.
Well, most of them are, yes, but the original ones are actually from Barcelona. There's a guy called Tom Carberry on YouTube who's done a lot of work on this. It's very convincing stuff. So they're in the wrong place. They built their state on the wrong continent, sadly for them. So it's just a big joke on them.
It's just a big joke on them, and it's also, again, manipulated by a lot of Catholic ideology and major powers like the U.S. The U.S. wants a foothold in the Middle East so that they can screw over everybody else.
Yes, which they have been doing for the past 70 years, and the British doing it before that. Yes, it's fascinating.
Indeed.
What do you guys think of Ted Kaczynski?
Ted,
My nigga Ted.
right.
God bless him. God bless him. Yeah, he's just too good for us.
Yes, true. He was just destroying the technological antichrist.
Yeah, I would have. Well, no, that's a Fed post. I can't say that. But
Okay.
Go ahead, Lucky. Lucky, you have
a good job. He could have done a little bit better. God bless fucking Ted. Uncle Ted is just the best.
No, guys, no. It's fake. It's a psyop, man. He was never in jail. He didn't do the thing. The whole bombing thing was also totally fake. Miles W. Mathis proves that on his website. Go and check it out. Just
really?
Like 9/11, just like the Manchester Stadium Ariana Grande concert bombing, just like 7/7. These things are all fake. Shit that never happened.
Well, Martin,
okay, let's say that hypothetically.
Oh,
let's say it didn't happen. I mean, the message was still good, despite that it didn't come from a religious place. It came from like a kind of cult, like, oh, technology is making us less social. It's a materialist, but religiously speaking, it does like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool what he did, or not what he did, but his message about technology being the gay Tower of Babel.
Yeah, and who's that message coming from? Someone who killed babies. So we're
yeah. No,
I'm saying who's got our anti-technology, anti-science message is a fucking baby murderer.
Oh, actually, here's something interesting I wanted to touch on. I completely forgot about this. Nuclear energy. Now, before you guys give us your opinion, something that I should note for the people in the chat, anyone watching this in the future, this is something very interesting. The pentagram is a symbol that only appears naturally in nature in two different ways. A, in asteroids crashing into the Earth, and B, in nuclear explosions, which is really fascinating.
Neither of those things are real, bro. Like, no asteroid has ever hit the Earth. It's totally impossible.
Yeah.
Nuclear explosions are not real. You want to see a pentagram in nature, look at the cycle of Venus, like the way that Venus moves around.
Yeah.
That forms a pentagram.
Well, actually, what I'm going to say is I do think they're real, but I think they're occult magical rituals. Like, I believe like ancient nukes and stuff. Why is there nuclear damage on ancient structures? They'll say like farming or some shit, some weird retarded shit. They're real, but they're
How are you going to prove that some damage on an ancient structure is caused by ancient nuclear explosions?
Because it was the heat produced from it.
I think it was just sulfur falling from the sky.
The damage was caused by nukes or anything else.
Look, I don't believe nukes are like a bomb. I think it's like a cult ritual that summons an explosion. And like with asteroids, I believe the asteroids are actually just a demonic summoning. So when a demon summoned, there's an explosion, like when demons embodied, and that's what the
I saw it.
No one's ever seen an asteroid hit the Earth. They just need to think that that's real.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm saying that explosion is the asteroid. It doesn't come from the sky.
What explosion? What explosion?
Where the craters are.
Yeah, but there's no evidence that the craters were created by asteroids. It could be many other things.
That's what I'm saying. It's an explosion from a demonic summoning ritual, and that's why there's the debris there has microcrystals or pentagrams.
Okay.
Glad we sorted that out.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't believe shit's coming from the sky, like, unless it's like sulfur from God, like to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right, yeah. I just noticed someone in chat ask, what the fuck are meteor showers then? I think it's just a bunch of demons, probably just flying over somewhere.
Yep.
In this plane. To answer your question, I know, this is the fucking schizo panel or whatever.
So what do you guys think stars are?
Well, they're just impressions in the firmament, right? They're just like ethereal, like I don't know, some sort of metaphysical entities that we can observe in some way in the physical realm, but I don't think they're like big balls of gas. Like that's fucked.
They're definitely not big balls of burning gas. I have a playlist, actual footage of stars, where people with long lens cameras have zoomed in on stars and taken video footage of them, and you can see that they're swirling balls of electromagnetic energy, each of which has its own different color and pattern and pulse rhythm, if you like.
Yeah.
So
there is a path behind it.
no one knows, but you can look at the video footage of them. My playlist, actual footage of stars.
Yeah. It's what is that phenomena called? Shouldn't have drank that fucking beer so fast. It's the Mandelbrot effect. So the further you even read into something like a thought or like an ideology or a story or a song, very much in the same way that we look deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into things, whether we observe them closer or we use microscopes to go deeper and deeper and deeper down into a smaller thing, you begin to see more and more and more and more detail almost kind of be created in your own eyes. And I think that's some way that God kind of keeps everything in check from like glitching the fuck out. You know what I mean? So yeah, stars are fascinating. I was so obsessed with all the nerd shit growing up, and like I can't even have a normal conversation with like younger siblings and shit about it anymore.
That is sad.
What's that?
That is sad.
Yeah.
Estrangement from one's family when one discovers the truth. Truth hurts, ignorance is bliss, and all that. So yeah, it is alienating to go down this path, and when you realize the truth, it becomes very difficult to have regular conversations. Like your mom wants to watch Star Trek, and it's like, oh,
yeah, it's like I don't give a fuck about Star Trek. You know what I mean?
Gnome Chad, what do you think of the stars? What do you think they are?
It could be a lot of things. It could be lesser entities. It could be a lot of things. It could be light sources. It could be fucking anything. I'm more concerned about the planets, but I mean the stars could just be their fucking offspring. Who the fuck knows? Let me tell you.
Briefly for the chat. Just briefly for the chat, where you can find these guys' social media. Gnome Chad has a YouTube channel called Gnome Chad, about 250 subscribers at the moment. Lucky is not on any social media platforms. You can find him kicking around a few Telegram chats.
Lucky.
If you know where to
Base
look.
Lucky.
Schizo guy, your account is Mr. Webb, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, Mr. Webb on YouTube, about 1,000 subscribers. With no videos, by the way, just a bunch of playlists on stuff like this. And Brie, you can find her at Brie Ellie on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube, I believe. All right, my bad. Go ahead.
Going back to the Mandelbrot effect thing, you mentioned the 7-Eleven job application, so obviously you watch Quantum of Conscience. And one of the things
Quantum of Conscience, yeah.
So he talks about how if you start researching a topic, the Matrix will feed you infinite amounts of evidence that you can just keep going. So let's say you're looking into 9/11, it'll keep pumping out, and this is also linked to kind of the retro causality / Mandela effect thing, where reality can kind of alter itself and provide you with the evidence just to keep you distracted.
Yeah. Matt has a lot of interesting views. I haven't watched any of his stuff in a while, but a lot of reality just is fake. It's not fucking real. For sure. So
yeah, I really like that guy. I think he's got a lot to offer. So yeah, definitely worth watching.
Yeah, I think I've only ever spoken to him once or twice in comments, but he seems insightful. I mean, he's a funny and fruity guy. I should go back into watching his shit.
Brie, what do you think of the stars?
So theoretically, starting from like a place that everybody kind of understands, I think, like the way that we're explained is that stars are these great balls of like, yeah, like really compressed gas that's like super pressurized, really hot, and like is able to project heat like from, you know, such a far distance that it is able to warm up planets, like as a solar system moves away from it or wraps around it. Solar systems have all these different types of designs. Some even have two binary stars that are powering the planets or powering, but like, having some. The theory is that it has gravity, right? That's pulling these things in. That it's such a dense object that it has such a deep quality of gravity, basically, that is pulling all of these things either in line or like in order around it. That's like a rudimentary understanding of how people would explain it. But personally, I think that stars are like sacrificial debt traps full of people's souls, electromagnetic energy that's like swirling and serves to power the consciousness in however large the vicinity it can. And I think our solar system is just one place where that's happening. I think that there are many, 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 many solar systems where there's consciousness being harvested.
No,
Right.
It's not a solar system, and gravity isn't
Wait.
real.
Jord, plug our channels, you fucking
Wait,
retard. Everyone in the chat is crying that they can't find
I am going to post all of their links right now and
Okay.
update the description. All right, so
Do
you
your
can find
job, Jord.
in their respect.
Real George, do your job.
I don't want to interrupt the flow of the.
Okay,
I was gonna say,
I
don't
should-
interrupt the flow.
I should let you guys know that like 3 of the people on this panel are the flat Earth schizo variety, and 1 is the Galactic Federation at war with the Nazis in Hyperborea variety. So
to be fair, I'm not saying I'm not saying that I believe what's proposed to us here about like physics or our understanding of the universe, but I'm saying that's how people describe it.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry, Brie.
yeah. Astral. Well, the star thing's pretty interesting, but what do you guys think of the Nephilim?
Oh
Fucked
no.
up abomination bloodlines. They can still be saved, but let me tell you, these bloodlines, bro, these elite people are all inbred. The royals were all inbred because they have these psychic bloodlines, and so that's who runs the world. Nephilim bloodlines. The Nephilim were 100% real. When the Euphrates River dries up, 1/3 of the population will be killed by the Nephilim underneath them. What are you smiling about, Martin? And that's gonna be the fake alien invasion.
I do think a fake alien invasion is coming.
Well, both of you believe that there's going to be a fake alien invasion from underground. You just differ on the specifics of it.
We do.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Is it even worth like trying to fuck with them? Like what's the solution? Like, am I just gonna go like eat raw onions and fucking, I don't know, like get drunk in the fucking woods and like, kill deer and shit? I don't. I don't know. Is it worth even trying to fight demons? I mean, I'll fucking slay a few demons. I mean, that shit's fucking good.
Well, I'm not
shit.
talking about fighting them. I'm just asking, like, what are your opinions on the Nephilim? And I am sorry for cutting you off, Martin.
No, that's fine.
I think Lucky just switched the topic to like solutions, which is something that YouTubers rarely talk about.
I don't think we should get into the final solution for the Nephilim. Let's
Oh, come on, that's spicy. That's good. Okay.
No, it's not.
I hereby advocate full extermination of the Nephilim if they do not turn to God. Fuck them. Okay, just kill them.
Sorry, I'm not clear on what people think that they actually are. So the Nephilim are just the Illuminati bloodline people. They're just humans like the rest of us.
They're the direct babies of the planets, the fallen angels.
How does that work, though? How does like a swirling ball of electromagnetic energy like mate with a human and create a?
Well, no. So they mate amongst themselves, and then they have these conjured embodiments on Earth that mated with humans.
Conjured embodiments.
Yeah.
Yes, they be fucking out there, bro. The planets be fucking. It's fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
It's really fucked up, Martin. It's really fucked up. The planets are mostly homosexual as well.
Yeah. So
demons are born through oral sodomy.
Yeah, it's like how you break a man's soul through sodomy, right? I mean, it's just insane, just insane shit. You know how they do that? It's fucked.
Brie, do you have any thoughts on the Nephilim?
Yeah, I think they're I mean, it's kind of simplistic or like reductive to say what I'm going to say, but I think that they're like Nibiru babies. I think that they can't.
What is Nibiru? You keep on talking about that. What is Nibiru?
Black Sun.
I don't know. I mean, it could be the Black Sun, it could be Planet X, it could be Nibiru, it could be whatever you want to call it, really. But it's theoretically like this hypothetical planet that we can't perceive or see, but it's supposed to be like literally right on top of us, like in another dimension, intersecting with us. And supposedly, it only started intersecting with us like in the past. I don't know, like since Sumeria, I think, like since ancient civilizations came about. But there is something about like more recently, like in the past like 30 years, that it I'm not sure what happened in the past 30 years, but there's some significance, like when Heaven's Gate started coming around. They believed that there was going to be like some portal, basically. But I think that the Nephilim are basically like who originally populated the earth, and they would be called like Sumerians, but their bloodlines are still here. And they were in Atlantis or whatever.
The Bible says that they're giants, that they're enormous humanoid creatures, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep,
the theory is that somehow the little us regular humanoids or humans that we have today defeated them in a war and exterminated them, and we don't have any evidence.
The main theory that the Bible posits is that the flood is what killed the Nephilim off, not humans.
Some of them hid underground though. Hey, do you guys know the lore of mermaids as well? It's pretty interesting. They're actually the cursed woman who bred with the Nephilim.
Oh, really? Oh, I haven't
when
heard
they were
that.
cast into, they were put into the sea as like witches. That's what mermaids are. The sirens.
Well, it's like the stories of if you eat mermaid flesh, right? It either kills you or you get cursed with eternal life, right? So on Earth, anyways.
Yeah. Because like that's what the mermaids are. They're the women who were cursed during the Great Flood after reproducing with the Nephilim. Powerful witches who live in the sea.
So stunning and brave. Mermaids are stunning and brave.
Well, I mean, we look at modern women. They, a lot of them try to act like mermaids. Just like because sexual energy is conjuration magic. The male phallus is what they call the magic wand. I'm a believer when you have immoral sex or you masturbate or something, you spawn demons through Lilith, and a lot of women are very aware of this. So that's why we get all these modern witches who use it for conjuration, and a lot of like gay cucked men who watch porn all day. They jerk off, impregnate Lilith, and the demons go into the screen and go to the porn producers, and that's why porn is such a lucrative business.
Yeah.
Where does Lilith come from exactly?
She's the ancient whore mother of demons, the whore of the earth.
Yeah, but like,
That's
what's her origins? Wasn't she like Adam's wife or something?
Lilith is a corruption of creation. Lilith is the whore of the earth, my brother. She's fucked up. She's really fucked up. She's the mother of demons. That's why they want you to jerk off so bad. When you jerk off, you waste your seed and spawn demons. That's what the electromagnetic pulses in your brain are. They're demons being spawned.
You waste your mana. There's a theory, Gnome Chad, that Lilith allegedly was Adam's first wife before Eve was plucked from one of his ribs and then made of the same flesh rather than being a different entity, a fallen entity, because the revolution had happened before God had, breathed life, right? So that's what I've heard. Now, this isn't something that I've researched,
I mean, on the Nephilim, while we're here, just briefly before we move on to the subterranean creatures, like Ben Thorpe is of a Nephilim bloodline, like he's like one of those Jesuit Nephilims.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ben Thorpe guy you keep talking about, is he somehow important? Do we have to
I don't know why we're treating him.
No, you don't have to care about him. It's just like
he's a faggot.
He's basically he's like a Jesuit Nephilim bloodline in the chat. He eats babies. Martin, what's your thoughts on the subterranean creatures?
You want to know a planet ate babies in mythology? Kronos, the god of time, Saturn, the one with the black cube. Saturn ate babies.
The cube.
Homosexuals, when they perform oral sodomy, are eating babies metaphorically. Demons are born through sodomy. They're worshiping time. They're worshiping Saturn.
Yeah, and a perversion at that.
Base.
Mm-hmm.
Base.
So subterranean cryptoids. So I mean, I am also not an expert on this to any extent, but I just think if there are such things as greys and reptilians, they must live underground, and we know that there are these DUMBs, the deep underground military bases. We know that there's something called Crystal City underneath Washington, D.C. Pindar is the underground.
Brie knows about this.
Underground city beneath London, and then there's catacombs and stuff underneath the Vatican in Rome, and so on and so
there
forth.
One in LA or Denver? There's a lot all throughout the world.
Yeah, the Denver airport one. So obviously these underground military bases do exist. What they connect to, we don't know. It could be that it leads to caverns and cave networks that are occupied by these creatures, Nephilim, reptilians, or whatever. I think there is also a possibility that there are massive towns and cities under the earth that are essentially a parallel civilization where they have been breeding people for sacrificial purposes for many, many years. Sorry, I'm sounding ultra schizo now, but
Sheol, from the Old Testament, Sheol.
Right. So almost every ancient civilization has this conception of Earth as a flat disk with a dome above it, and there's some subterranean space occupied by weird, evil entities. So I think we can assume that is a distinct possibility.
Right.
And you know who we have to think for that? Your guys' God. The God that is evil.
You were gonna fucking... Oh, come on now.
I'm just saying,
Modern
for all
women hate
these
fathers.
ritualistic, satanic, shit-eating things, what do you think is enabling that? The firmament beneath us that has been constructed to facilitate these ceremonies and these ritualistic slaughters, cannibalism, scat, it's not even a fetish, shit-eating.
Yeah, they're shit modes, yeah.
Why are you blaming God for this?
I'm blaming God for this because this is all a war constructed to fight a type of God that would harness souls from his creations.
No.
We're
This
gonna
is
get
free will given by God.
religious again. Oh no!
No, quit talking. Brie, can we just stick to the tunnels? Can we stick to the tunnels?
Modern women hate the Father. That's why they hate God.
No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Brie, could you? Weren't you taken to the tunnels once upon a time?
Yeah, I was taken to the tunnels once upon a time. They cut off my forearms and they fed them to people because they wanted to spread COVID immunity. And much like the mermaid meat, it either kills you or it gives you mana.
Yeah, it gives
and I'm not the only person they've done that to. I mean, that was before COVID that they did that to me. So they've made clones of like Nephilim bloodlines so that they can turn them into food, so that you guys can eat them, so that we can become COVID immune, and so that we can quantum leap out of this timeline where Nibiru is going to intersect with us into a timeline where that planet won't intersect with us, or it's something like that. That's reductive of me to say. But like it's something along the lines of that.
The black sun, Baphomet, the hermaphrodite, the bridging of duality. That's Nibiru.
So guys,
Brie, how'd you get your arms back? Oh, go ahead.
How'd I get my arms back?
Yeah, how'd you get them back?
They grew back. They have therapies under there. The technologies that we're given on Earth are literally like a tenth of what they have under there.
Sure. I mean, they've had some of this like technology that the virtual reality shit. They've had this for like probably thousands of years, let alone like after the mud flood or whatever the fuck, like a very long time. They introduce it slowly to groom us into the shit. So I wouldn't be fucking surprised if we can just grow back limbs. Like you just tap into the morphogenetic fields, and you trigger something in someone's soul or mana or whatever the fuck, and then you can just grow arms back. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was a legitimate thing. So
was just going to say there's no such thing as a virus.
Yeah, viruses aren't real. Fake.
It's just
It's real.
yeah, viruses are
Oh, let's talk about the worm pill briefly.
the worm
Y'all
pill.
don't
Lucky
know.
knows about the worm pill. Lucky.
All right. I mean, it seems like Brie. Oh no. Oh no. The demons took her down.
So
Well,
my boy Rigo in the
join us
chat said
shortly.
shout out Rigo. My boy Rigo in the chat said witch trials were justified, and I think that's why she left.
Well, it's fucking way she goes. Yeah. Do the N-word thing in the chat, boys. Let's go. We'll wait for Brie to fucking hop back on, and then we'll get into demons and serpents and shit. Parasites.
No. Lucky, while we're waiting, just go ahead and get into the worm pill thing.
You want me to just dive right into the fucking F-word worms? Oh, I guess I already said that word before, but I shouldn't be using slurs.
You could say faggot. You could say faggot.
Yeah, but I can't say the other
Faggot.
one.
Yeah, say faggot.
No
Right.
hard T, no hard T, just faggot.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence, boys. I don't think that it's just like a... It's all just it all just happened, right? Like that we don't do hardcore parasite cleanses for humans, but we will with horses, we will with our cats, we will with our dogs, we will with livestock, chickens, all this shit. We don't do it with humans. Why? Because it harnesses your fucking energy, you know? And they, oh man, we can get so anti-Semitic. I'm trying not to go down that road, but you see why everyone in every position of high power that has a lot of mobility and the ability to hire underlings under them almost always act like they're possessed, literally possessed by some sort of archon or transcendental entity or physical, whether that is hybrid, like worms or serpents or something. And I think it probably is parasitic infestation or cosmic mildew, whether it's the bad bacteria, like Martin was saying earlier, conflicting with good gut bacteria, right? The gut sense. Because a lot of demons will reside in your gut, not just in your head. In fact, a lot of soul energy, right? There's a reason why our eyes are up here and not in your gut. But so the infiltration, I don't know if it's through the fucking water or if it's through these. I know I need to be very careful with these inoculations, these satanic inoculations, where they almost had me fucking homeless, couldn't get a fucking other job because I wasn't gonna take this shit. I'll fucking be. I've been homeless before. I don't give a fuck. I'm a survivor, right? And it's just it's. There's some reason why, cancers are misdiagnosed so much. I think they're probably just trying to cover it up as, parasite or bacterial chimpotes that are happening inside people's bodies. I think that a lot of illnesses and aging and shit has to do with fungal infections and parasitic infestations and various. So
100%, 100%. I mean, like the worms are really just a type of snake, right?
right, yeah. Some of them have fucking tentacles. I don't know if we're gonna get into the whole gross like parasite cleanse like that. Maybe for another time. Disgusting, but so I think there's something behind it. What do you kitty cats think? Worms? Is that a thing?
Martin, what do you make of the based worm pill?
I think Brie was just about to say something.
Oh, my
I was
bad.
going to say,
I wasn't looking at the screen.
Oh, I was going to say I agree with the worms. I mean, I think it's whether it's worms, whether it's parasites, whether it's fungal infection, bacteria, it all is ultimately leading, in my opinion, to the same premise, so the same purpose, and that is basically to warp people's minds into thinking in different directions so that there is no unified timeline, and so that the snake or the serpent or Satan, whatever you want to call it, the devil, so that can basically direct us in the way to total annihilation. I think that's what all those
singularity. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what it's about, and I think that it's not to get too like QAnon in here, but I think that it plays into like electromagnetic frequencies, radiation, and how much of that the current population can be exposed to without taking on like damage or taking some negative traits on from that. And I think that those increasing forces of 1G, 2G, 5G, whatever, it's meant basically to increase human capacity to manifest different realities. And I think that united force of human manifestation, like same thought process, is so powerful that it could even change history. It could change the future too, probably.
George, how are you gonna say the stream is open and then not drop the link?
Oh no, the stream is open. It's open to the cube. It's not open to the general. The general.
Can I vouch for some people and send them the link?
Yeah, of course you can, Matt. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah, send it to them on Instagram though. Don't post it in the main shot. Also, don't let Dig. Oh, go ahead, Martin.
Sorry, there's a channel called Night Flight, and she did a great interview with a guy called Wayne Bush, who studies the archons, and he's discovered this microorganism called an archaeon, which is a worm-like creature with a lion mane type face to it. They're absolutely disgusting.
Right? Yeah, they're fucking nasty.
Yeah, so I think that, also the old etymology things providing us a clue there. I think that's what they are. And of course, the ancient Gnostic descriptions of what the demiurge looks like is a worm or a snake with a lion's head. So, yeah, I think that's what they are. They're these microbial bacteria things that somehow have a collective consciousness and can steer our thoughts. Everyone should check out the movie Adjustment Bureau, starring Matt Damon and Emily Blunt. It's a very good explanation of how the world works. And they have these fedora-wearing beings who are essentially guiding fate. And they have a notebook with them that shows the timeline. And if people do actions that cause the timeline to deviate from the planned unfolding of events, they have to intervene. And the story is how Matt Damon falls in love with Emily Was Born a Man Blunt, and they have to try and steer them to not fall in love and all this. It's a great movie. Everyone should watch that. The other movie that we watched relates back to what Brie was saying earlier about timelines and stuff is Dark City. I don't know if you've seen that, but in that movie, the guy, when everyone goes to sleep, the city moves, buildings move, and the guy wakes up and he has a completely different life, different job. His wife's name is, maybe his name has changed or something. But that is also a very esoteric movie that you should definitely watch. It gives lots of clues as to the nature of our reality. It relates back to the Mandela effect, and
right. Do you think it's predictive programming, Martin? Like, do you think that's what they want us to go down with the technomancy kind of shit?
You mean these? What's the purpose of them putting out the movies?
Right. Yeah. Like, do you think they're predicting how they want us to be further down the line?
Maybe. I think it's more like revelation of the method. They, in order to absolve themselves of responsibility for their evils, it's rather like a serial killer who leaves a clue at the scene of each crime, and then claims that, like the movie Seven with Brad Pitt, it's actually Brad Pitt's fault. He didn't get the clues.
How I interpret it is they leave like a breadcrumb to so people have that psychic intuition, they follow it, and they either end up getting subverted by the breadcrumb they left, like the breadcrumbs they left, or they just end up confused and deranged schizos.
Like me. Like
Yeah.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Drives you nuts, man.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna leave you guys to it. I'm gonna go fucking bang a piss. So, uno momento.
All right.
Wait, hold up. Never mind.
Honestly, I just think it's very interesting that like all four of the people on the panel are like very different backgrounds, very different ways of coming to their conclusions, but you all agree on the generalizations of a lot of things, which I find very odd, personally.
It is very odd. It's very odd how we are intersecting there. Someone asked earlier, how did I purge? And I think that it's just the relentless pursuit of truth. In my case, I know, obviously Gnome there's like been hit in the head so many times, and Fed smokers just taken a bunch of DMT and mushroom chips or whatever, and I just read a bunch of books, but shit posts on the internet or whatever. But yeah, I think that's the thing. I mean, I have fasted a couple of times. I definitely watch my diet, trying to avoid sugar, junk foods, processed foods and stuff like that. That's probably helped. But I think it's just a love of truth. If Christ is truth and truth is Christ, maybe it's that kind of love of truth, relentless pursuit of truth. That's what got me to be. I'm not saying I'm 100% Archon free. The Nicodemon has got me. I've got, but yeah, that's how I did it, I reckon.
Brie, the only person that we haven't like gotten a concrete explanation for how they reach their conclusions is you. Bring us in.
Honestly, I mean, I just have a memory that cannot be beat. Either call it like a photographic memory or call it like schizophrenia. But I could just be making all this stuff up in my head. Who knows? I could just be manifesting some random past. Who knows? But no, everything in my life has just been very, very, very strange synchronicities ever since I was conscious about it. And everything's kind of seemed off a little bit. So it's been like this, I guess similar to Martin, like maybe that's why I kind of agree with him on a lot of stuff, but like this relentless search for truth, and like not only truth in the universe, but how it relates to myself, and then kind of trying to expand that back onto like how I see reality in the universe, right? So yeah, I don't know, a lot of weird stuff has happened to me. I see a lot of synchronicities and everything. You could just call it schizophrenia, but yeah, mostly, yeah, I don't know. Mostly it was like family stuff and really just crazy personal mental batshit things.
Are you part of MK Ultra?
Some could say I'm, yeah.
Should we answer the question that's posed in the chat here? Who or what Satan is?
A hermaphrodite.
But what's the role?
The merging of good and evil. So it's ambiguous, right?
But is it as ambiguous as God, or no?
No, because God's the creator.
I don't think so. If a perfect God,
wait, Martin,
perfect. The world isn't
destroy
perfect.
You right now. I'm gonna
created by a perfect entity.
Martin, I love you, brother, but I gotta destroy you right now. You said it's not about thinking; it's about knowing. You didn't say I don't know so. You said I don't think so. Get destroyed. I'm sorry. I had to do it to you.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, okay. If a perfect God had created this world, it would be perfect, but the world isn't perfect. Therefore, it cannot have been created by a perfect entity. Therefore, the creator is flawed and not a benevolent entity. It is a malign entity. It is feeding off.
Who are you to say it's not perfect? Sure. What it's meant to be?
Heaven would be the perfect realm. Earth is meant as a test realm, right? I don't think Earth is meant to be perfect. It's actually meant to be run by Satan, and if you can overcome, as you would put it, the demiurge, which Gnome and I would, equate with Lucifer, right? It's a testing ground towards, supremacy, right? And then transcendence in that way. So I just disagree with that premise. If we're gonna go like through the autistic, like logical, right? Like, okay, like perfect creator would make a perfect watch. Well, the watch is supposed to be fucked up so you can tell the time yourself and not rely on the watch. Yeah, you understand? So
No, I don't understand the analogy.
Who are you, Martin?
Yeah,
Who are you to say?
time doesn't work like that. Time is not some abstraction. Time is something that's been
Bree,
constructed by humans
you
to
cut me
measure
off now.
a
That's rather
certain
rude, Bree.
dimension.
Bree,
Don't speak
that's
over
rather
me.
rude.
Time
You
is
spoke
something that
over
has been
me.
created
You spoke
to
over
measure
me.
a
That was
certain
rather rude
dimension
of
by
you.
humans. Therefore,
Rude
it
of
has
you.
some sort of entropy to it. Our understanding of it does at least. Maybe not the abstract sense of time itself, but our understanding of it.
George, you're a rude individual, and Bree, you cut me off. I didn't cut you off.
No, you keep speaking over everybody. And second of all,
No, you spoke over me.
my answer to this question, since
spoke
I
over
haven't
me.
gotten to answer it yet,
You
is
spoke over me.
there's 3 different names to Satan. I think there's Satan, the accuser, there's Lucifer, the light bringer, and there's, what's the last one? I know there's like another.
Okay.
The devil. I mean, the devil.
What's his name? Wormwood. Wormwood.
That was very
like the
rude of you.
fallen
That was very
star.
rude of you. To be honest, George, that was rude of you. But I was gonna go to Martin, but see, I forgot what I was gonna say now. Rude of you, George.
Apologies.
But see, that's why I don't like being spoken over, because then I forget what I'm gonna say.
But you spoke over me.
No,
You
you
gotta
spoke
go
over me. It
one
was
at
my
a
turn to
time.
answer that question. I'm gonna freak out.
Wait, someone asked you a question?
We were all answering the question, who or what is Satan?
Oh yeah, I was
it's
gonna
actually your
say.
turn. Yeah.
I was gonna say Martin. Who are you to say it's not what it's supposed to be?
Well, it's just obvious that this isn't a perfect world.
Maybe it's not perfect by design though, because of free will.
Then that's a flaw in the design.
No, that's a paradoxical design that only a great creator can make.
Omniscient God created the world and knew in advance, because he's omniscient, that Eve was going to take the bite out of the apple, and the consequence of that would be thousands of years of deformed children who get fucking bone cancer and have to go through an agonizing death, rape, war, torture, and all that kind of shit. And that is a flawed design. Therefore, the designer has to be flawed and cannot be a perfect, omniscient, omnipotent entity.
Martin.
Anyway, look, we've got back onto the God thing.
Yes.
Once again, you're not going to be able to persuade me that you're correct. I'm not going to persuade you.
Yeah, the God thing. Yeah,
Therefore, it's pointless going down.
I'm over it. I'm already over it again. So,
Seems like you guys are always over it when the tides start turning. So whatever.
I'm not over it.
Talking.
My turn to answer the question: who or what is Satan? Yes, it is what Brie just said. Those names are all referring to the same entity, who I believe is also the demiurge, which is the creator of this flawed world. So he's the guy in charge. He's the one who gives the instructions to the archons who control us, and it's essentially operating, however many billion people there are on the earth simultaneously. That's his game. That's his computer game. That's how he gets his thrill, to control this world and to push the timeline forward according to his preordained plan. And he's obviously been playing this game for thousands of years, and that's his form of entertainment. He's feeding himself off our loosh, off our mana, if you like. That gets harvested when we die. It's not harvested in real time. So when you die, your life is a file, L-I-F-E, F-I-L-E. You go on a file, and that file, which is like a vial, V-I-A-L, is basically stored. Your life flashes before your eyes before you die, right? So all those emotions you've felt, every emotion is loosh. That's harvested upon death, not before. Negative emotions are yummier to it than positive emotions, but it also feeds off positive emotions. So when you go to church and you do the happy clappy and you achieve this state of ecstasy, that's also loosh for the devil. So the only way to not feed it is to become a monk and not feel any emotion, just sit and meditate or just be blank, which none of us really wants to do. No one really wants to do that. So the only thing we can do is to try and go through this world contributing as little to the system as we possibly can, and then escape upon death, on bodily death. So I think those, what are they called? The heavens, sorry, the names escape me. Gate. Heaven's Gate people, they committed suicide. Right? Well, I'm pro-suicide. I think, yes, once you've found out it's possible to escape the Matrix, as long as you don't have any people depending on you, top yourself and go to the real world. It's much nicer there. This is a shithole. This is a shithole world created by a shit entity who's a shit eater, like you said.
Oh, but Martin, you would concede that there is a real God and he is good. Somewhere out there that there is a real God and that he is good.
Well, you know, with the burning bush, God came back and said his name is I Am. So who is God? I Am. You know.
Oh, right. The Gnostic ascending, right.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe, in a totally different part of the pleroma, there may be the original, and the original creator, if you like. But I think he's actually uncreated. He's not interested in creation. His world is uncreated and eternal, and it's beyond space and time. We're locked in this dimension, the material dimension, which has space and time. That's just completely too far below him for him to give a fuck about. That's why he doesn't intervene here. It's just too far removed from his control. So yeah, maybe there is some kind of uncreated and eternal entity that exists beyond space and time in the pleroma, but I don't think that really concerns us. I think it's much better to, when you die, you go into the void. Don't go into the light. And Wayne Bush's site is trapped by the light. Definitely check that out. You need to go into the void. Forever Conscious Research. This is also a guy who's done a lot of research on this. Very, very interesting stuff. But yeah, you need to go into the void and create your own world. I don't think there's much for us in God's real world, if you like. I mean, you could go there. You're going to end up just like, praising the Lord for eternity. Maybe that's cool. I don't know.
Yes, that is cool. That's really cool, actually. So God gave us a path to get through them, and allowing for the flaw is actually part of the creation, though. So that's still a perfect creation.
It doesn't make any sense, though, bro. It's not logical.
Makes perfect sense. It makes
it's not logical to have children suffer. They're totally innocent. They don't deserve to suffer like they do. Why would any good entity allow that?
So we could choose God's love.
But they don't get to choose their babies, man. Babies are getting raped. Babies get bone cancer. There are monstrous births. Yeah, that's not. There's no choice there. These people they're children. They can't choose between good and evil.
And they're forgiven. Because they haven't had the chance to choose yet. They're forgiven.
He tortures babies, man.
They haven't had the chance to choose yet. They're forgiven. This is clarified in the Bible.
Why would he make them? Why would he allow that? Why would he allow children?
Wait, don't you think the material world is suffering, though?
I'm sorry?
So the material world is suffering to you, right?
It has a lot of suffering in it.
They get picked out of the material world sooner. There's less suffering in the long run.
This doesn't make any sense, man.
It makes perfect sense.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
Look, theosophers have been wrestling with this question for thousands of years. None of them have come up with an adequate answer, because the truth is something that they're hiding from us, which is the creator. Of course, they want you to think that there is no creator and we're just like space dust that smacked together over billions of years and turned into a fucking ball spinning through space, right? The God position is completely indefensible, man. Once you come to the realization that evil exists in this world, there is unnecessary suffering of innocent children. There cannot be a benevolent entity behind it all.
Okay, Martin.
Literally retarded. I'm sorry, Martin. I love you, but that doesn't because they're suffering.
Guys, the God. All right.
So hang on, Lewis.
Lewis, you don't want us to be on you? Stop flashing my stream, bro. Whenever you hop on the panel.
Oh, shut up! You fucking Balkan. You fucking Balkaner. Fucking.
Lewis.
Yeah. Okay, retard. So let's jump to fucking conclusions again. So how do we stop the shadow oligarchy that does perpetuate all these evils within this realm? How do we stop it? Or is there a proper solution?
There's this one plan. It's called like the final solution.
I'm gonna
for the
fucking
baby
spank you. Be quiet.
No, we do this. Yeah, we do streams where we talk about the truth. We discuss these issues. More and more people find out the truth, and little by little, more people realize the reality that we're in, and eventually enough people wake up and we win.
Martin, you're starting to remind me of Mark Zuckerberg. You might be a reptilian.
What do you mean?
Laughter. Nervous laughter.
I don't get it.
Nervous laughter. What's wrong with that?
I don't get it, man. In what way am I similar to Mark Zuckerberg?
The look in your eyes. Yes, and the
Yo,
sweaty.
guys.
Yo, guys, hang on. Before we do this, like, the stream is probably gonna start wrapping up. Gonna do some calls and whatnot. But before we do this, Lucky, Bree, and George, stay in the call after the stream ends. Y'all, Martin and Gnome Chad, y'all can stay too. But I kind of want to read you my DMs with Boneface. Like, this is fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah, I'm absolutely interested in that. But so anyway,
just before you do that, let me say Zuckerberg isn't a real name. Zucker is sugar and Berg is mountain. There is no sugar mountain. There's Zuckerman, which is like a seller of sugar. There's, lots of bergs, different kinds of mountains. You can't have a sugar mountain. That's not a real name.
Martin.
Also DMs, George.
Martin, your name is Martian.
So Zuckerberg is a fictional character. He's an actor playing a role, rather like Elon Musk and lots of these other tech founders. The DARPA finished their LifeLog project the very day that Facebook was founded. Facebook is LifeLog. LifeLog is Facebook. It is the CIA. There's no two ways about it. So yeah, Zuckerberg is just a fake name, fake character, fake shit. Sorry, Lewis. Please read those DMs.
oh, I thought that was going to be something afterwards.
Oh no! I mean when the stream ends. I don't want to read it to the.
Sorry. I thought you were going to read
Lewis,
it.
you're a coward. You're a coward for saying that on the stream while people are watching and then not giving them the sauce. That's cowardly. Cowardly.
It's one of those things that I'm going to guess the majority of people on this stream don't know who Boneface is. So I just gave them someone to go look into, someone very interesting that you're not going to regret looking into.
Why didn't you open with that?
Well, it's the subtlety, It's that.
I think he's just a little bit retarded. So, anyways,
Shut the hell up.
Well, I'm a practitioner of the retard pill, so I can't hate on retardation.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
All right, the link is in the chat. We'll now take call-ins. Obviously, try and match the energy, please. If you guys are gonna call in just like randomly, no porn posting. If you're gonna cam up,
no screaming the N-word. Okay, I want the whole stream.
All right, well, here we go.
Ashkenazi Jews are Turkic. They're not Germans, bro. Ashkenazi Jews.
But before we do that, we're just going to get final closing thoughts from the panel. I can clearly see a divide here between light and dark in a physical sense and a metaphysical sense. I can see a Gnostic side and a Christian side. I can see it's really interesting what's happening here, okay? But I don't want to hear it from me because, I want to hear about these guys. Gnome, Martin, Lucky, and Brie in that order. If you could just give us your closing thoughts. Have you actually gained anything from this conversation? Is the chat right? Has George disappointed his original Meth Squad Wignat audience? What does the cube even mean? What is it all about? Just give us your final thoughts. Gnome, you go first, buddy. And then we'll let in the random callers because they could go anywhere with the callers. They could pull their genitals out and stuff. So we got to wrap it up first, then go to the calls. No.
Yeah, the stream was a massive disappointment by you, George. To be honest with you.
Base.
What could we have done? Hang on. What could we have done better in the future?
George could have done his job.
I didn't want to moderate too much. It would have been chaos. To really make it interesting, you have to sow division, and I think that will happen when we let the callers in. But it's going to be chaos. This is order, and now it'll be as opposed to order.
To be fair, this wasn't like anything like it's not as good as most of the Cube VCs are with these people, but at the same time, from the normie perspective, this was
actually makes more sense from this perspective because people have to know who these guys are. There's already a bunch of people in the live chat waiting to get on in the back, and one of them is called Mr. Webb. So Martin, expect an interrogation. It's just it's going chaos mode. That's what I'm saying. You don't really be like, oh George, you did such a bad job moderating. No, that I maintained order. Now come.
Gnome Chat, unfortunately, not every fan base on the internet is as based and red pilled as yours is. I'm just gonna say that, but unfortunately,
you got to be all brain damaged. Martin.
I mean, half my fan base in the chat shot their shot with Brie. I don't think she's reading the chat though.
No, they're not doing a very good job of it. They're not being very good.
The negging
wholesome
is real. The
approaches.
negging is real.
No, she's not reading chat though. I could tell.
Martin,
She's like-
Yeah,
final
I'm not.
thoughts?
Yes. If there are any Wignats in the chat, then I strongly urge them to Fed Post Redacted and grow a set and Fed Post Redacted, because we need more unsullied people to Fed Post Reacted. And unless some people grow a fucking
That's
set
fucking good, brother.
redacted, then it's just going to go on in perpetuity. And, you know, I can say, oh, yeah, we can make videos and spread the truth, but we actually need people to Fed Post Reacted.
No, Chad. Martin, what would you say if I'm currently in DMs with someone who does that shit IRL? What would you say about that?
Fucking hero.
Lucky. Your final thoughts?
I wish I could do that.
Yeah, no, base take, Martin. No, I mean, I was just here for being a shit kicker, right? So, I mean, yeah, I had a fun time. I mean, I don't really give a fuck, right? Like I don't content. You know what I mean?
Lucky, next time can you like put on like a Batman mask and like speak like Batman?
Yeah, I could do that next time. I'll do that for sure.
Galactic Federation Trick Turner, fucking amazing. All right, I'll open the phones up. Brielle, what your?
Hey, we didn't get Bree's closing thoughts.
I think I did gain something from this conversation. I don't feel as crazy anymore. I feel like I have more ideas to like flesh out my own thoughts. I think it was cool hearing everybody's perspective. Am I supposed to explain what the cube is?
Oh no. That's the mystery. Leave them to sweat that one.
I will say just for the last thing, this was like for our standards, this was pretty mid. This was pretty normy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this was the first time any of you people appeared all in the.
I'm gonna end George.
You want to see chaos?
Right now, George. You need to post our links in the chat, bro.
Let the links be posted.
Okay, Brie, you said you feel less crazy. You feel less crazy after talking to these people?
What's up, Internet Dad?
Hey, babe, what's up? You have got to be kidding me. All right, I got a question for the whole panel, not just my sweetheart here. But what the fuck? When do you guys say, actually, that might not be true. I've never heard anyone say that. When does it end?
What's up, my
Just keep
Jesuit
riffing.
nigga?
There. Does that tell you where I'm coming from?
No,
Okay.
you're a Jesuit.
I'm not a Jesuit, retard.
Yes, you are.
You are a Jesuit, for sure.
I'm not a Jesuit! I have 6 kids!
Yeah,
Okay.
and you raped them because you're a baby raper. You're fucking.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So when do we say maybe not? When do we say? Is there any point at which we say maybe not? Maybe I'm a lizard. Maybe I come from the 13 bloodlines of Hadrian or whatever the fuck. When does it end? When can I? When do you say like?
Well, I mean, you
actually,
did it-
not really.
Okay.
Maybe
You
like,
did
that doesn't
enjoy
make-
the stream enough to watch it all the way through.
I've
Yeah.
watched plenty of this. It's stupid. All of you are saying things that don't make any sense
Yeah,
and you
this shit makes
contradict
no
each
fucking
other.
sense.
Let's
Schizo
not
guy,
get
go in
into it.
detail about Ted
Tell me
Kaczynski.
one
He said about
fucking
that.
thing that any of you have said
Yeah.
that makes any fucking
These people
difference
are
in how you
fucking
live your
retarded.
lives.
Like,
You
these
go to the
people are
same
literally
grocery store as the
brain
rest of us. You do the same shit. You smoke the same cigarettes. All the
I don't
conspiracies
smoke.
have to do with shit that doesn't affect your lives.
I don't
Brie,
smoke.
how do you know those pillows
smoke.
aren't satanic, Japanese, fucking whatever the fucks?
I don't smoke.
Right? Get rid of them. They're demons. Why do you know?
got the real
None of
shit
what
right
you're
there, man.
saying affects any of your fucking lives.
Okay.
Name
No,
one
actually, it
fucking
does, it
thing.
does.
Exactly.
It does.
Exactly.
It gets us closer.
It's
with God,
all
so we
crazy. You people are crazy.
You're
You're a
fucking
Jesuit.
crazy. Hey, man, I'm not having sexual
Great
intercourse
response.
with my child.
you're
So
upset.
give me
It's
Schizo guy's like he's legitimately like fucking crazy, but he like doesn't have to be.
Yo,
What name?
Ben,
When do you say like
Ben, Ben, you've literally admitted to on camera that you like to rape newborn babies. You are a baby raper.
Yeah.
You say
and
that
you
all the
said
No,
time.
that
that's
to me.
fine.
Yeah,
fine.
you
I'm a
said that
baby
to me.
raper.
You
Fine.
corrected it.
You say that
Yes,
all
I
the
fuck
time.
newborn babies.
So
Okay,
how are you
right.
not
Yeah,
crazy?
you-
You fuck.
I'd like an answer from anyone here as to
You're
when you've ever
Jesuit.
heard a theory and said,
You're a
you know what?
Jesuit.
That's a little crazy.
You're
Yeah,
a
I don't know,
Jesuit.
man.
What isn't like on the table?
To
I
be honest
did
with you, I think you're
qualify
upset because you're Jesuit and your Jesuit handlers told you to interrupt.
Okay, but how about sense? Can we use like sense?
You
Your
literally
Jesuit
went to a
handler-
Jesuit
Look at
school.
yourself. buddy. You're Jesuit handlers. You're a fucking retard, obviously.
You're Jesuit handlers. You're Jesuit
Ben,
handlers.
you literally Ben, you literally admitted you went to a Jesuit school. You are actually a Jesuit.
Yes, I attended a Jesuit seminary for 1.5 years. So what?
You're a Jesuit baby raper, bro.
Whatever. Okay, yeah, that's one way you can deal with reality. You just say you went to a Jesuit school, therefore blah 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 blah.
Martin, this is the guy we've been talking about, by the way. He's of the Nephilim bloodlines.
Right. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not just a guy who was born in 1971 and has parents that I can document, right? It's all like fucking
Ben,
lizard guy, right?
What stims are you
when
on?
do you say actually? Well, maybe not.
Ben, what stimulus
Well,
are you on?
Could I just?
None.
Let Martin go.
You're acting like you're on coke.
Particularly about the cryptids, Greys, Nephilim, and some of the subterranean stuff. With there's no evidence for that I've seen that's convincing. So it's purely speculative.
But you've been talking about the caverns under the earth and all this shit. Like, what are you talking about? There's subways.
There's evidence for that.
There are subways, yes, and there are like places that like people will go if there's a nuclear war. Everyone fucking knows that.
Typical Jesuit subverter.
What is this Nephilim are crawling around down there? What are you fucking talking about?
Typical Jesuit subverter.
Go down there.
Typical
There's no
Jesuit
Nephilim
subverter.
crawling around.
Typical Jesuit subverter. You heard us saying the truth, and you like had to come in here and be like,
I'm a Catholic.
Christ."
I'm a Catholic.
Yeah, a Jesuit.
Yeah,
Catholic.
Jesuits are Catholics. Okay,
Yes,
so
yes. And you had to come in here and be like, there's subways. Okay.
yeah, right. Okay, yeah. They're these snake-like things that are in the. They're called subway cars. You fucking retard.
Those are occult magic.
Yeah, right. Okay.
They work
You
with
don't
the-
know anything about it.
I do. They work
No,
with
you don't. Look at yourself. You don't know anything about anything. You're a fucking retard. Get off the fucking internet, dude.
Ben, to be honest,
All
with
of you,
it sounds
Brie,
like you're
come
Jesuit
over here and
hoping.
sit on my lap, and I'll tell
Ben,
you. I
Ben.
will open the Bible.
No.
We'll open the Bible together, and we'll read it like normal, sane people, Brie.
Ben.
I
about
know
the
what
giants in the
happened to you,
Bible?
Bree. You got
Ben, what about the
confused
giants in
by
the
something that
Bible?
happened in your
Ben,
family.
Ben,
I can talk you through
Ben,
it. We can
Ben,
talk to people and
Ben,
figure it out. This other
Ben,
fucking shit's never going to
Ben,
get you
nigga,
anywhere.
Ben, nigga.
Oh,
What about the
gross.
giants in the Bible?
What about them?
You don't believe giants, but you said you're going to read the Bible?
I didn't say anything about I didn't believe giants,
Then
but I'm going to
Nephilim-
read the
giants-
Bible.
Nephilim bloodline.
Yeah, I'm going to sit with Bree,
You're
and I'm
coping.
not going to molest her, but we can read about the Nephilim, and I can explain how
That's a lie.
that we get
was a
different
fucking
interpretations of that. It's not the main point of the Bible.
lie.
No, it's a part of it, though. And you're coping
Yes,
because-
and you guys make a whole mythology about it, just like Lord of the Rings or Star Trek. It's stupid, guys.
It's not mythology, it's real. It's the Bible.
Yeah, okay,
Sorry, Ben,
it's the
sorry.
Bible.
Because,
Yes,
Ben,
yes.
we
The
just don't have
Bible.
access to the layers that you do. I'm sorry.
Well,
We're
we
just
do have access, Bree, to where you went off the rails. I know where it was. It was in your family. I'm not going to bring it up, but like you should talk with me about it. You went off the fucking rails. You were told something that didn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to say that your father raped you and you didn't know about it for years until years later.
Whoa,
That doesn't
what
make
the
any
fuck?
sense, Bree.
What the fuck?
That doesn't make any sense. That can't happen. And when you were told that and you believed it, that's when all the screws went boop, bang, boom,
Okay,
all the
look,
springs
look.
came flying out of
I'm
your
gonna
head.
head out. Ben,
Real shit.
You gotta put it
Read
back
the Bible.
together, babe, and we can do it.
Ben, read the Bible and like learn about the giants and how they're significant to know.
Do you have
about
like an
them.
ashtray? Like, is it just an ashtray over there, or is it like a Japanese person you're throwing those at?
Yeah, he throws it at his fucking gook wife and his fucking ugly ass gook kids, bro. He throws that shit at his
No,
gook
this guy
fucking
says he hates God because of bone cancer. Fuck you.
Ben, you hate
Life's
God,
full of suffering.
you
It's
don't believe in the
beautiful.
Bible.
Fuck you, dude. Grow a fucking pair.
Ben, you hate the Bible.
That's all it
Yeah.
is. Life's
Ben, you-
beautiful.
Ben,
Your
you hate
kids,
the
look
Bible.
at your kids. Take them to the zoo and watch their reaction to God's creation.
No,
They'll
no.
go, I love it.
You
I
know
love
what,
it.
Ben?
And you can tell Mom.
Every sculptor thinks that their creation is beautiful.
Not
Oh,
necessarily.
Did
What
we
the
just
fuck?
mute him? Oh, okay. Well, that's fun to troll him.
Yo, where the fuck's a gnome child?
All right,
Bree,
anyway.
every sculptor thinks that his sculpture is
All right, hey,
beautiful.
shut
That's
up, boomer.
first of all
Shut
not
the
true.
fuck up, you gay fucking boomer. What are you
And
gonna talk about? Fucking
secondly,
how you
what does that
suck
have to do with
cock in
anything?
college, you fucking gay boomer retard. Hey, so Bree, you're a fucking stupid.
Bree, maybe
homer.
you got it wrong about your family.
Yeah, you think so? You think that's
Where the fuck is Gnome Chat?
That's where the shit went off the rails. Yes.
Yeah,
And every
well,
one of
it's
you
not
guys
going
has some
back.
story.
Well,
I'll talk about it with you. But you can't get
Back
raped
fixed.
in your sleep by your dad and only realize it years later.
Bro.
That's some fucking sorcery. It can't happen, Brie. It can't happen. It cannot happen.
uh-huh.
It can't.
What
It
the
can't
fuck is
happen.
going on?
You sound really desperate
Hold on.
right now.
Is this old guy trying to fuck this
Oh, the
little
truth,
boy?
it can't happen. You can't get raped, not know about it, and then
Hey,
remember
old
it
man.
years
Old
later. You
timer.
can't.
Hey, old guy. Hey, Boogie 2988 or whatever your name is.
Sure,
Are
yeah.
you trying to fuck this little boy?
I don't know who's
Are
talking.
you trying to have sex with this girl that looks like a boy? Like, what's your
Brie?
what's your
Okay, yeah.
point?
So here's another show. Brie is a dude, right? She's not a dude. That's a woman.
So you're just trying to have sex with like a man, or what are you trying to do? You trying to have sex with like an internet tranny?
Okay, so Brie, are you a tranny? Here we go. How are you
clearly
respond to
is.
this guy? Brie's a woman. I mean,
I highly doubt that.
okay, well you're an
Why do you
idiot.
got that?
Okay, well you're fucking Boogie 2988.
Yeah,
What does that mean? Like, what is the point of saying shit like that?
Boomer. You're just a gay boomer.
All you guys should get off the internet, Brie. You should come visit me. We can talk.
Yeah, you should
Like,
go
you guys
visit
are
that old
fucking
guy so he
crazy.
can like molest you or whatever.
Booger 288.
Go-
What does that
go visit
mean?
Boogie 2988.
I'm gonna ask
so
the
he
English
can
guy.
touch you.
Does this make any sense to you?
Yes.
What? Say it again.
That
I'll
makes
hear
sense.
you.
Booger 288 makes sense to you?
Yeah, Boogie
Is he on to
298.
something? Is
You
this
look
part
like
of a
him.
theory?
You look like him. You look like that guy. The
Like, come
fucking,
back to reality, dude. There's somewhere where you went off the rails, and you
Shut
should
up.
ask
You said
yourself.
it's a gnome, Chad.
You should ask yourself.
Anything else you want to say that you said?
Where
fucking
did it
nothing?
go off? Because I know with Brie where
Where did it
went
go
off the
off?
rails.
I don't know. About 15 minutes ago when gnome Chad got off. Because this is fucking boring.
Okay, then
Your
go
fucking
away.
E-drama
Go
is gay.
away.
You're a fucking nigger. And English
Okay,
guy.
right.
Why did
that
you
makes
race
sense.
mix?
Real shit.
Good question.
Anyway, Simon Webb.
Not a good question. Tell him
Go
fuck off.
Shut
into
up,
detail
boomer.
about
You're
faggot
fucking
and
gay.
schizophrenia.
Nobody cares about you.
Fuck
So,
you.
English
Brie
guy,
is
why'd you race
mix.
mix?
She's beautiful.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Shut up, gay boomer. English guy, why'd you race mix?
Well, I became a father in 2004.
To
I'm
gook
not-
fucking children. Kill yourself.
Let him finish, you fucking nigger.
Bro, he literally is a fucking
Let him
race traitor.
finish, you
He's a
nigger.
literal race
No one
traitor.
cares
Go
about
ahead.
Virginia.
Well, why
Yeah,
don't you
so-
ask Brie? How can she exist?
Oh my
She's
god,
half
okay, old
Mexican,
man.
half German.
Hey, let
Okay,
the
old
schizoid
man.
finish.
Hey, how
Let the
can I
schizoid
figure
finish.
out a
Let
way
the
to
schizoid
How is
fucking
she a
finish.
Wignat
Oh,
girl?
how can I figure out a
Brie,
way
these
to
people
divorce kid?
suck.
Kill
Brie,
yourself,
come talk
old
to me.
man.
These people suck. They're not
Unironically
your
kill
friends.
yourself. Okay, why'd you race mix, British guy?
Exactly. Why do you race mix? Go.
I did it for the first time in 2004, and that was before I realized what was going on.
Oh,
So-
before you found out about the whole like Jew things. So you
Exactly.
got
It
like
took him that fucking long because he's a retard.
no. So why didn't you just fucking white pill white woman, or white pill red pill?
What race are you, English guy? What race are you?
Well, he's white. Look at him. He's Anglo.
What does that mean, white?
He's
Anglo,
He's
I don't know.
European.
You're an
Fucking
Englishman.
retard.
You're a mix of probably many different peoples, Germanic peoples, right? All this stuff,
you
right?
get what
There's
I
no such
mean.
thing as
You get
pure
what I mean,
British.
you
It's
fucking
bullshit. It was
boomer
done
nigger.
there. You want a conspiracy theory? Racism came from Henry VIII and Anglicanism, trying
Racism
to
came
find
from
a
a
reason to
fucking
break away
Jew
from the Catholic
like
Church.
you
So they said
dirty
the
kike.
English people are special. Fucking losers. They're not special.
Anyway,
They're not
how's
better
it-
than other
Oh my
people. They're
God.
just a mix.
Okay,
I don't
Grandpa.
know. They're sure a hell of a lot better than you. I mean, to be
Well,
fair,
listen,
right?
all you Wignats. I'm
listen,
Hitler's
all you
fantasy.
Wignats.
I'm 1/4 English, 3/4 German, 6'8",
I'm fully gay.
beautiful. All my kids are beautiful. Guess what? I'm just a person. You want to worship me
Well,
and come
your
over and
kids
suck
should
my
be
dick?
dead.
I'm not down for it.
His kid should be dead.
Finding it. But you
Well,
have
there's your
nothing to
fucking
work with.
theory. I'm a person. I'm your fucking dream.
Bro,
I
fuck
should be the
this
champion
boomer.
of this. Except only losers are champions of these stupid racial
You're a
theories.
dumb boomer who's getting gaslit by a nobody on the fucking internet. Take a bigger hit.
Mirthless laughter. Stupid.
Yeah, like you.
Stupid.
I'm not going. You're a couple of fucking losers. Get lost. Get lost. Cam up at least. Jesus Christ. What are you? You're just two losers who won't even use your own names. Get lost. Go fucking die.
Yeah, I don't need the attention, you old nothing.
Go die.
You'll die, and your
yourself.
kids won't give a shit. Your kids are gonna be like, what did this old retard leave us?
Brie,
nothing.
Do you like these guys? They say you're a tranny, and they say you're a product of like.
You're gonna leave your kids a bill. That's what
Mexican,
you are.
half
a fucking pain.
Half German. It's totally fine. English guy, did you think Brie is like a demonic thing? Give me a break. She's gorgeous. She's crazy.
I didn't listen to what this old faggot.
But like,
saying.
you can't deny this is a beautiful product of two beautiful people.
Hey, Brie, are you gonna fuck this old guy or
What's the
what?
problem?
No.
Yeah, there you go, old guy.
I'm not asking her to. I'm just saying we'll read the Bible together and I'll deprogram her from this whatever fucking retard cult.
If God had wanted to write a book, he would have done it himself. The Bible's not going to help anyone. It's a pack of lies.
Well, no.
That's just gay
why
talk.
Do you think
Everyone
that?
knows the Bible is
Unironically,
right.
why do you think that?
Bible is bullshit.
Oh,
bull! I found the word bull in Bible, which is actually not even an English word.
all right.
Bull,
So
I got it. Bullshit. You hate
so you
God
don't-
because you're a faggot. Fuck you, dude. What did God ever do to you?
Fucking God. So you don't like God because of suffering.
What,
in the
his
world,
dad
right?
died or something? His mother told. I guarantee this. Your mother told you lies about your father, and that's why you hate God. I guarantee that. That's what Brie's mother did too. How's your relationship with your dad? How is it?
Great.
How is it?
Great.
It's great. No problems at all.
That's a good non-question. That's something you ask to a
No
woman,
problems at all?
fat moron.
None whatsoever. They're Christians, and I'm not.
You're a tranny.
And who taught you Christianity? Your mother or your father?
It's funny. They actually grew up atheist and then converted later in life.
Okay, but who taught you about like religion? Which one, mommy or daddy?
I don't think either of them did, really.
Oh, so no one taught you about Christianity? So you rejected something you didn't even know what it was?
Well, I learned it at
You're a
school.
Jesuit.
Oh, you were an atheist. You were raised atheist, is what you're saying.
Well, I
They said
went
learn
to
at school.
a Christian school, an Anglican school. We sang the hymns,
Yeah.
got the lessons.
Yeah.
So
Which no one believes in, right? There are no Anglican believers, so like it's easy enough to stay an atheist if you grow up, in the 80s in England? Everyone's an atheist, right?
So did anything
It's a fake
happen
church.
to you that? Oh my God! Did anything happen to you that made you reject? I guess that time that you grew up around the church.
Me?
Yeah, you personally.
Well, I just couldn't accept that God would have made a bunch of people who were damned because they grew up in a different culture.
Well, why not?
He doesn't do that. The Anglicans don't believe that.
He's
Who
not
told you
real.
that? Who told you that's what religion says?
Also, who told you it's?
Do
your,
Anglicans say that? They
moral
don't say
duty to
that.
care?
I studied with Anglicans. They don't say that. So you're lying. Who told you that lie?
Well, for example, my uncle, he's a Christian, and I asked him, so do you think that Chinese people are going to hell because they don't believe the Bible? And he said yes.
Okay, so that's not true, though.
Let's debate it.
That's not true. It's not true from the Catholic Church. It's not true in the Orthodox Church. It's not true in the Anglican Church. It's not true in most Protestant sects. Was your uncle a Protestant? by any
If they
chance?
lived a godless, heathenist life, then it's debatable that they would go to hell. Yes or no?
Okay, let me say something.
We don't know that anyone is in hell. We don't know that anyone is in hell. The Catholic Church has formally declared.
Why do you
we don't know
believe
that anyone is in hell.
He was a federal informant or Fed or agent, whatever the fuck. Go ahead.
Wait, I want to take Schizo guy here. The Catholic Church has never declared that anyone, not even Judas Iscariot, is in hell. We don't know. Hell could be empty. That's totally a legitimate point of view.
Well, I mean, I just discount anything that any Catholic ever says because, they're baby rapers.
Completely agree,
You
Schizo.
support the Catholic Church, you support...
Okay, so you're lying also. The Catholic Church has a problem with pedophilia. So do the Jews. Atheists and Jews have the highest rates of that.
Yeah, so does Hollywood. What's
yes,
the point?
check it out sometime.
I don't know if that's that simple to measure, and also the Catholic
It's
Church
fairly
is
simple to measure by any measurement. The Catholic Church has nothing exceptional in that area. It's just
the Catholic Church rape boys. So I mean, if you're
the Catholic Church doesn't rape boys.
Yeah, you do. You do. Many priests, Catholic priests, 216,000 cases reported in France alone.
Yes. Okay, but that's not the Catholic Church. It's not condoned anywhere in Catholic teaching.
Raping boys. If you support the Catholic Church, you support the rape of young boys.
No, you do not. No, you do not. No, you do not.
You should go and top yourself. You fucking disgusting cock.
What a fucking liar. What a faggot. You're such a fucking liar. I'd fucking clock you if I was near you, you fucking faggot. Lying faggot.
Child boy rape supporting motherfucker.
You're such a fucking loser.
Everyone up top is a tranny.
I'm the winner. You're the evil loser.
Look at you. You're sweating like a pig. You're such a faggot. Why'd you move to Japan, faggot? Someone was after you for maybe what you did to some boys in England? That's how the English guys move out.
Just like you do, because you're a fucking bunch of rapists. So
okay, Catholics are a bunch of rapists. And atheists are, I'm saying there's sinners, right? There's thieves. There's all sorts of things that are problems. You show me any statistic that shows that Catholics have a higher rate of any of that than anybody else. They don't. It's lower.
It's just common sense.
Oh, no, it's not common sense. You with all your fucking theories, all your fucking research, you're not going to research that one stat. It's not true. Jews have the highest rate by far. Jews and atheists.
No, it's the Catholic Church.
No, so you why? Because you just want to think that, right? You just want to think that.
Oh God!
Look at this guy. He's like on Quaaludes. You just sit there and say the same thing. What if it's not true? What if that's not true?
No, you just don't know how to have a fucking.
What if that's not true? What if that's not true? Let's say that's not true. So you've been fed something, maybe by
everyone knows this.
The devil. Everyone knows this. Why? Because newspapers that are run by Jews have told you that.
News articles about the
yes, there have been problems
in Brazil, in France, everywhere. They're raping young boys, and you support that.
They're not raping young boys. It's mostly homosexual affairs, but and I'm not excusing that. I'm not excusing that, but
young boys are
it's not. You think this is unique to the Catholic Church?
Now you're admitting that it happens. Yes, it's a unique Catholic Church phenomenon.
So Jews don't have this problem. Protestants don't have this problem. Anglicans don't have this problem. Atheists don't have this problem. Public school teachers don't have this problem.
If you really believe,
Boy Scouts don't have this problem. They all have this problem.
You are going to roast in hell.
Why don't you listen? Oh, now you're going to tell me I'm going to hell. You're the atheist.
No, I just said if you believe that there is a hell, you are going to roast in hell for supporting boy rape.
I don't support boy rape, neither does the Catholic Church.
Yes, you do, because the Catholic Church rapes young boys.
Okay, so I could say any group does anything. Jews steal stuff. Blacks kill people. Anything. You could say that about any group.
Are you part of the black society? Are you part of the black church? Are you part of the Jewish church?
I'm black.
You give money to the Catholic Church. They rape young boys. You're aiding and abetting.
So stupid. So stupid. You do all this research. It's so stupid. It's not true.
You should really think about what you're doing. Being a Catholic is disgusting.
Okay, because of a lie that you were just fomenting. Because you read it in the newspapers. Why don't you do some research, retard?
Of boy rape.
I bet the rate of child molestation is higher in Japan than it is in the Catholic Church.
So you're aiding and abetting child rapists, and that's disgusting.
Oh my God, you're so fucking stupid. If you want to have a conversation, we can, but you just like gonna say, "I go paper."
Child rape supporter.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. The Catholic Church doesn't support the rape of children.
Yes, it does.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does.
Okay, find it in the catechism, smart guy. It does not.
Well, obviously, the Catholic priests who are raping young boys all the time, they don't care about the Bible or the catechisms or the
I agree.
bulls. You know.
Okay, I agree. And it's a small number of priests, but it's a problem. Okay, so I agree. So
thousands of young
So
boys.
why do you say that the Catholic Church is only a tiny group of people? And there have been always, here's a news flash, Judas was one of the apostles. Why don't you tell Jesus that Judas was an asshole?
Jesus is
we know that.
He's not a historical figure.
Oh, here's another stupid theory. Yes, he is. Do some research. Look at the other side of some issues.
Research and find out that Jesus wasn't an historical.
It's stupid. That's a stupid theory. You can research it. Muhammad, yes, you can make the case.
It's not stupid.
You don't even care whether anything's true or not. Why? Why don't you care? Why don't you care? What are you so angry about? What are you so angry about? You just fucking came on here and said it would be better for people to commit suicide than live. That's what you said, right? That's what you said, right?
Yep.
Okay, so how are you a fucking father who says that to his kids, you fucking cocksucker?
I would never say that to my kids.
Why not? That's what you think.
Oh, good evening. Is that
Hey!
Yeah, and take a look at this. Let me so you can get an address. Yeah, Brie, I know you're a little asexual, honey, but if you can see that, there, down there, I'll give you a little mog action right there. Poor Ben, needs to do some push-ups, needs to take control of his life. Yeah, now I can see myself there. Let me straighten out the cone there. Let me give you a whip. There's chuckles on here. Let me show her my pickle.
Any dates? You getting any dates there, bud?
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you get a good look or good mogging right there? Yeah, right there. See, what I'm packing in my pants, Ben, is something you will never have.
Coming over there, bud.
Right there. That's right there. That's right. Now, all the latent homosexuals in here, which I know there are many, and I just like to promote my porn, which I'll be doing because I know all you freakoids don't like porn.
People.
No, thanks. Thanks, but no thanks.
Now, I'm trying to get on. Can I get in the chat? Because I'm on the phone, but I want to get on.
It's a little bit hard for a Coomer-brained boomer like you. I'm sure that you can figure it out if you take it away from your genitals and you use your hands. You put it up closer to your face.
That makes more sense than anything anyone's ever had said on this panel.
On the PC, it would work better for me. This phone is just not connecting right now.
Yeah, you seem pretty.
That way I can have a nice in-depth discussion right now. You're quite like the 9. You need to drain some balls, honey. Going to be doing more Maxi Mellow. That's life affirming.
Mm-hmm.
Hormax, so what about me and Brie come to have a talk with you later? This sucks here. It's all gay.
I'll be doing a point with Maxi Mellow in a few weeks.
But we can talk with you tonight.
All right. Well, if you could drop the StreamYard link, George, on the PC, or somebody can. This is not working for me. So.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, Hormaxer.
You're linked. What do you mean? You're here.
Retard. 1 second.
Yeah, but my thing. All right. Well, let me sit down.
I don't have anything to show us a little baby dick again.
1 sec.
Yeah, how about you shave your fuzzy tits, old man? Yeah, nice nipples.
And you don't have
that.
To show
your butthole too.
You shut your hypogonadal up.
Hey, turn around and spread cheeks for a couple seconds.
And see that? I want to get a Brazilian wax on my tits so I can get like wax them for me, you little fucking bitch. Yeah, why don't you lick them there? Because you probably lick my fucking tits. Yeah, I'll fucking hate you. I don't give a flying fuck. Ben would love that.
Brie, what do you think? Do you like Brazilians on guys, or should they stay with the hair?
Hormaxer has so much mana, it's insane.
Yeah, this guy's funny.
I just shaved too. I was getting so hairy. I don't know what to do. It's like growing. I need a weed whacker.
Why not just let it go?
Me too. Yeah, I'm a hairy guy myself. So how do I fucking post this for you? So you by the way, that's not a very flattering light. So I'd like to get you on the PC.
I could turn my light on here, like that. How's that? What should I cook for you? You want to cook?
I liked it better before. It was more mysterious.
Shell.
Yeah,
you want me to cook for you? I'll. How about I give you a nice little fucking rape on stream? Yeah, Ben would love that. Yeah, Ben
is that what's on the menu tonight? Rape.
Yeah, can you cook some eggs for me?
Rape casserole.
Hormaxer, how do I send you the link, bro? Come on, you got to give me solutions, man.
PC, I don't know if you're operating on a PC. It's just that the phone, it
Yeah,
doesn't,
I'm
everything
on a
is slow
PC.
right here.
Hey, Hormax, are you a Jew? What are
I
you,
see it.
Italian?
I see it. Wait, I see it. Hold on. I'm going to come in now. I see it. It's going to be better.
Okay.
Thank
You're
you.
doing great.
Yeah, rape is always on the menu. That's right, Neo Prototype. Always on the menu.
Hey, Lucky, talk about those butthole worms that made you gay.
Yeah, the faggot worms. You want to talk about faggot worms?
Yeah, worm pill list real quick.
Oh, okay. How's
Sure,
that?
so I'm pretty sure. Yeah, here we go. That's better. Hormaxer, do you think you have worms? Because you've had sexual intercourse with men, right? Like straight up, like intercourse,
I'm a
right?
fucking yes. Nope.
Yeah. See, I've never done any butt stuff, so I wouldn't know.
All right. Worm pill.
It's he left. I was kind of hoping that he would be around for that.
Worm pill.
What, you want the worm?
Yeah, tell the fucking chat about the worm pill. Elaborate. I really didn't fucking get it.
Yeah, sure.
Tell
So
No, I
think-
didn't leave. I don't know.
Yeah,
some
here we go.
shit.
Perfect. So Hormaxer's back. So think about any kind of entity that could be in your body.
Why are you
whether
so
that's,
concerned about STDs?
like a
You know,
drug,
you live
any
in the
sort of
modern age,
substance, right?
douchebag.
Foods that maybe throw off your equilibrium, homeostasis. I think very much in the same way, a lot of worms in your bowel or on your brain, on your lobes, can actually influence.
Look at this
your-
fucking guy with a hat on in the dark in the shadows. Wait, let's ask you a question.
Who is the guy asking the question?
It's the guy with the stupid hat on in the dark.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know,
well,
it's right.
well,
Yeah.
Why in the dark? Turn
obviously
the light
you have
on,
mental
dude.
illness.
No,
You won't be doing a life affirming scene
shadow
anytime
dude. You
soon.
got a problem with that? Old
Brielle,
man?
how is the OnlyFans going?
Pretty good. I gotta take some more pictures and do some more lives on there. I did like a shower stream on there the other day.
Brie, can you put
More
your foot over
selfies on OnlyFans should never be allowed. Only hardcore scenes should be allowed. I'm gonna do Gonzo live porn.
Brie is a lovely lady, but she's crazy. She's totally out of her mind.
Oh yes, Ben. Well, you're perfectly normal. Obviously, you have no problems. Whatnot.
I've got to tell you
whatsoever.
about the latest thing that's been happening to me. I need some help. Grace can't help me.
I
I
don't
sent a
think
dick
anybody
pic
can help
today.
you.
I don't know whether
Try.
I'm doing right or wrong. You got to help me out.
And
Yeah.
your penis is fucking tiny. No one wants to see that.
No, I really do. I told Bree that I'd send her a copy of it if she wants. Do you want me to send you a copy?
It's so small, dude. I've seen you post it. Like
It's
in the
flaccid, but it's
It's tiny. It's pathetic, even
Well-
shameful. You're a
Oh, that
disgrace
was
to God's image.
that. You have to see that in context. That one.
You're a disgrace to God's image.
I wasn't
It's
relaxed.
small. It's
Grace's
small.
life would be better if she did a live. Of course, she won't do it. I think Grace is just as screwed up as Ben. Maybe
Well, I
more
want to tell
so.
you about that. I encouraged
Yeah,
her
well,
today.
I'll tell
to-
you. I mean, I think Grace
Oh,
is just
okay,
as
you're not
screwed
gonna
up as you. Yeah, obviously, she's just as screwed up as you. I don't think she'll be doing anything anytime soon. I'm here to promote my porn too with Maxi Mello, which will be happening, which is life affirming too. We'll be doing it with the trans too, so we'll have a 3-way scene too going on. That will be on.
Jesus Christ. All right, I'm out. Don't get AIDS, kid. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah. AIDS is on the table, Hormax. So you got to be careful with that shit, man.
I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know, Bree. I think we're pretty clean. I think these couple old boomers in here probably got a few.
Lucky
typical-
is clean of anything sexual. We all know that. No possibility of STD.
Yeah,
You ain't getting any pussy whatsoever with that attitude.
Ben, is that why you have to go after your own kin? I mean, come on.
Well, lucky. Yeah.
Lucky.
Well, where are the hosts of the show? Where is doesn't Jord and Louie do this show?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jord is smoking meth and Lewis is just being low IQ in general. He's a closeted bisexual man.
Or Max,
Well,
let's
I
just
know, I'm
ignore
very
this guy and work on Brielle.
Yeah, I'm very happy. Like I said, I always said I would come into, and I would like to do a cuckold porn with Jord, and that's on the table where his fiance watches that. And
you get muted just for a second because your degenerate Jewish fantasies have to take place in like two minutes, and we'll resume whatever kind of hedonistic debauchery you had in mind. However, I just want to say my job is not to moderate here. The more chaos, the better. It needs to be anarchic. People have to be able to come in and come out. And Lewis isn't not doing his job either. He's currently in the Cube Telegram group VC, for those of you who are in there, having a conversation with Boneface, the famous Ukrainian, American neo-Nazi who went to fight for Ukraine. The Cube is growing. People are good. Thank you everyone for the super chat, by the way. It's much appreciated.
Say hi to him. Say hi.
And yeah, you can go back
Hi,
to
Uncle
logging
Max.
in now. Oh, Max.
Grace wants to say hi. Come over. Look at her. She's wearing a muumuu. All right, Brie, it's just you and me. I guess Uncle Max, just visuals. So, Brie, is there a chance that you might have gotten off the rails with the whole family thing?
No.
Is there any chance? Could we just talk about it?
Ben, the authorities, it's not even me that said it. It's
Okay,
the
but you
authorities.
could. Okay,
Like,
the authorities, but the authorities can be wrong. The authorities agreed with Grace's mother that I'm a danger to my kids, but it was based on a lie. She lied. You believe me? Could it be possible? Can people lie? People can't lie.
people can lie, yes, but
Okay, and
it's
can
a
the
little
authorities
bit-
like take their lie as the truth because they don't know? But maybe we could just talk about it. I'd be interested to talk about it because it's similar to my own situation. Okay, that's no problem. I'm just saying sometime we could talk about it. My interest in you is not primarily, sexual. I've got chicks that are like busting down my door at this point, Brie. I'm sorry.
Oh hell yeah, that's so cool. Yeah.
I do. I can show you pictures. If you want, I can show you some pictures.
Oh yeah.
It's not a
I'm
problem.
Sure they're totally not fake like bot accounts or anything.
No, she's not. No. 2 of them actually. So you missed your window, but I still would like to be your friend.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about it on the Harmaxer stream. If
I
he's
don't
up
want to.
Hmm?
I don't want to.
You don't want to? But you can't believe that conversation made any sense, right? It doesn't make any sense, Brie. I mean, none of the shit you're talking about makes any sense. There's a planet on top of our planet. It's been there since Sumerian times. I mean, Brie, it's not true.
Okay.
What evidence is there? I mean, look up in the sky. There's not a planet on top of this planet.
Okay.
That's schizo stuff, right?
Yeah, sure.
Why don't you just try talking to me for a while and no schizo stuff and see if it doesn't make more sense? Like maybe 2 + 2 = 4.
Ben,
there are 7 continents.
Do you have this Jesus complex where you just think like you're the one that has all the right words for everybody?
No, I can be wrong about some things, but I do have a paternal complex, which means when I see a beautiful, it's okay to say, a beautiful young woman who seems full of life and is very confused, that I do want to help her. Is that okay? No.
Sure, that's fine. I just don't think that I'm confused. I don't really.
Not even a chance that all this underground worm shit is just crazy.
No.
Not a chance.
No way.
All right. In what way have you ever tested it out? All the theories. You buy the same clothes, you buy the same food as everybody else, right? And if it's all have you found out that it's all actually poison or whatever? It doesn't even make any sense. What are the aliens trying to do?
I don't know. You tell me, Ben.
I think pretty much life is what it looks like, and there's a loving father who created you and all of us. And there are some stories. You don't have to read the stories, but they're about how much he loves us and wants us to be his children. Doesn't that sound about right? And there aren't wormholes and
Am I the
different
only one
galaxies.
hosting this call right now? Because I don't want to be. Am I the host of this call? Because I don't want to be.
I'm in charge here, Brie.
Oh, even worse.
While I show you a nice Jewish
Can we
pickle.
unmute?
Why don't I show you a nice Jewish Bubby's pickle? Do you shop kashrut, Chuckles? Because you look like one of these Jewish yentas. You know, let me get on. Let me have a look-see at you and see what you have, okay? So, yeah, let's go on there, okay? Yeah, now Ben, yes. Well, Ben is quite retarded and tried to not cockmog me. That's not possible. But he tried to cock block is the thing of yes. And see, all these guys that chase around Grace on the internet, you're all barking up the wrong tree. She's life denying, meaning she does not drain balls. She will not drain anybody's balls, okay? Never, she's not going to drain no balls or anything. Now,
no, it's stupid.
Now, Chuckles would like to drain a pair of a couple Bubby's pickles, but she's a little embarrassed, and she shouldn't be. She should dive and lean into her sexuality, Chuckles. Get in. I know you like Starlight and all those type, and I'm going to take her on a pony ride too. Yeah. Well, if you like to, is the conversation about Jews? Would you have a question about Jews in the chat? Is about Jews? You know, I know Jews do everything. You're quite obsessed with Jewish people. One is in the flesh here, so you could speak to one right now, and I will put the Jew mog on you.
They worship you. They worship the Jews.
Yeah, let's see what you have. You know, why don't you flap your fucking gums? You know, you have everything under the stairs about the Jews can't do this or the Jews won't
gravitated towards the porn industry because it's like kind of the seedier cousin of the Hollywood industry, which had already been controlled by the Jews.
Yes.
And basically, they pretty much just took it over. The godfather of the modern day porn industry, his name is Reuben Starman, who was actually an Orthodox Jew. He owned over 200 bookstores all around the country.
God bless him. I wish I did.
What the Jews did pretty much was they revolutionized the adult industry and made it their own. So there was no space for anti-Semitism, and they basically controlled everything. But back in the 80s, the only way you could get pornography was to go through someone like Reuben Starman, and he controlled, you know, all of his stores and all the stores that that he didn't own. They actually had to pay him a tax to carry his product. Reuben Starman actually eventually he died in prison, not from. They tried to get him for obscenity back in the 80s, which was a big thing.
Why don't you cut the clip and let a Jew give you some? Yeah, good. Since you have a problem now, here's the other flip side of that coin. Jews have done more for your First Amendment. You wouldn't even have a fucking internet if it wasn't for the Jews defending it. And people, Larry Flint, who was not a Jew, by the way, but was taught how to make a porno magazine by Al Goldstein, who was the founder of Screw Magazine. So, you know, it's people that you people here that like to point to everything, especially pornography, and say it's the Jews pushing a pornography or it's the Jews controlling that. Well, maybe you have to consider this for a sec. Maybe Jews fuck better than you, and maybe Jews are smarter than you. Have you ever considered that?
Well, if the Jews control everything, why did he die in prison?
Well, that's a question that could be answered. I mean, you know, if he did control it, why is he? Why did that particular individual? I think I could argue there's more powerful Jews than that in pornography and many other things. And God bless Jeffrey Epstein.
Now you have nothing to say, Ben.
What about what?
Jeffrey Epstein, porn industry.
Jeffrey Epstein, I think, is a complicated.
You're part of the porn industry of the Jews, Brielle, because you're on OnlyFans, and technically you're part of the Jewish invention. And do you know that?
Let's ask Brie. Brie, Brie, put yourself back in a situation. Okay, you're a beautiful young woman. You're 17 years old. Some girl from your high school, say you're like not very wealthy. I don't know what your situation was. Some girl comes up to you and goes, "I know this guy's got this big house. $200 to give him a massage." Right? You don't know shit about massage. Are you going to go up there and think it's going to be a normal interaction? Okay.
No.
And I don't know if you might have said, sure, I need $200. I'll do it. But, or you might have said, a lot of girls probably said, nah, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound healthy. But if you did say yes, and you went up there and he's like, said, I'd like a happy ending. Isn't it your fault? If you knew that, to some degree, isn't it some degree your fault if you're 17 years old and you do that? Or is that pedophilia?
I mean, yes, it's probably not a wise decision, but it's...
And if you could have left when he showed his dick and you didn't and stayed because you wanted the money or you wanted to come again, and you came repeatedly. Whose fault is that? Isn't it yours?
Are you like admitting to something? What is this about?
Well, that's what mostly happened with Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, the
Brie, what if a billionaire took you at age like 18 and said, like, I want you to be on my private island. I run out, like, I've seen your art and your pillows, and I want to like send you to Paris and do all this shit and like spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can ride on my yacht. Wouldn't you expect, since you're not a great artist, that like it's kind of a deal and it has a flip side? And when him and Ghislaine start like rubbing each other and ask you to join in, that's the deal. Are you a victim, or are you like, well, yeah, that's the deal?
Yes, you're still a victim. And that's not even an accurate question.
But you don't even ask yourself the question why.
Don't cut me off.
Sure, babe.
Fuck.
No problem.
That's not even part of the question, because like that's like, if that was just a random person, that would be fine. That would be like, obviously, okay, that was your own fault. But the Epsteins were literally grooming these people, or Jeffrey was literally grooming people to do this, and they were part of a fucking money laundering worldwide international scheme. So
okay, maybe, but if I said to you right now,
sex traffic you,
maybe it's definitely not a maybe.
If I said to you right now, look, I got $1 billion, I own my own huge yacht and island, and I'm gonna come pick you up, and you said, sure, I'll pick you up. Am I grooming you to have sex with you?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, good evening, Chuckles. How are you, baby?
But how would that be different than anyone who wants to have sex with anyone? Aren't they going to give them some like reason?
Let's have some chew on Jew love.
In that hypothetical that you're saying that a 16-year-old, you would drive out to go meet a 16-year-old to have sex.
No. I'm saying you at your age. You at your age. If I was saying like, hey, I want to lavish you with like money and travel and all of this stuff, and then I say to you like, so we're gonna fuck or what? And I'm not even that. I just like start like getting closer and closer to you. Like, is that grooming, or isn't that just like?
That's just an average day for you, Ben.
Well, but I mean, Brie, like, have you? I'm assuming, I'm not going to say, but someone said you were promiscuous. Didn't every person who you had sex with make like some sort of like offer to you that you would get something out of it? Were they all groomers?
First of all, no. There is no. No.
First of all, okay, so these chicks that got paid after they blew him or whatever, and then they turned around and sued him for $17 billion. Like, they're not victims. Like, they've gotten their justice, okay?
Those
like, you know how
women
many
are not
times I've
victims.
blown someone
only
who
women
wasn't
like
a
you do.
celebrity, didn't get anything from it.
Yeah, well, they got
women
more
every time. I'm the victim here.
Women can't be victims of sexual grooming.
They got more
Only
money than
girls.
like most people make in their whole lifetime. Like for that, one childhood trauma or whatever.
What
you
about the
call
parents who dropped their kids off at Neverland with Michael Jackson? Do you really think that
they probably get to retire too? Like, really, they probably didn't have.
They don't have any responsibility for saying like, "Is this guy got all his marbles in gear?" No.
Chuckles, you would be so much better off, honey, just draining a good set of balls, becoming less, with all these debates. You're not saving anybody, save the children, save the whale, save the turtles.
I never said
You might
I
as well
wanted to save the
fucking
children.
shrimp. You may as well save the shrimp at this point. Why
Hormaxer,
that's a really good idea, Hormaxer.
Yeah,
like, thank you so much.
Drain ball. Well, that's a good thing. I'm telling you, honey, become life affirming, drain balls, put a smile on your face, and get a pump, get in the gym, do some
she
squats.
used to be a pole dancer?
Yeah, go straight. Yeah, well, obviously she went from life affirming to life denying. So something horribly.
Yeah, that's what happens with age.
Well, she was probably draining some balls in there. Everyone does.
She's so miserable right now. She needs a good Bubby's pickle up there.
No, I don't think that you're gonna make it.
Brie, why don't you put on a nicer shirt? I mean, that T-shirt is kind of dykey. What do you say, Maxer? Can we vote for like something a little more?
Well, Brie has a very nice looking body. She should show it off more.
I honestly.
That's his Chuckles.
Like
I honestly don't even want to be here anymore. I want to leave.
You love it. You love getting sandwiched between masculine energy on the right and on your left. Don't you?
Energy and gay energy.
She likes it. We could tell you bedtime stories, and you can do dirty stuff.
You
got her out of there. She loves it.
Well, there's women that like to have sex. You know, these women probably don't believe it because they see things through their own a paradigm that there are women
I
that
like
don't
to have
like
sex. I just have no desire to have sex with you.
Well, that's your problem. That's your problem. I don't think you're having too much sex just because your attitude.
I don't think you should worry about it because I'm never going to fuck you.
Well, maybe not, but I'll tell you, I think you're the typical life-denying bitch in the United States that men want to get.
Why? Because I don't want to drain your balls?
No.
What about the four of us go out for a
No,
few drinks
I think
and
you
head
have.
out
I
onto a
think you're a
nightclub?
life denier. I think you have the attitude of that. I think you have a fucking frown.
I'm just
on
not
your face
attracted to you,
constantly.
okay?
I don't give a fuck if you are, if you aren't. The point is, you're a life-denying bitch that search for drama
I'll
online.
deny your
you don't
life.
fucking real life. You don't fucking real life. You don't do a fucking thing.
You don't know what the fuck I do. I don't have to prove shit to you
Surmise.
either.
I could surmise by listening to your attitude and
Okay.
listen to your demeanor that I'm right.
Let's get back to the schizo.
I have a really
talk. Do we
great
think the
vibrator.
Earth is
Thank
flat?
you.
Yeah.
All right. If the four of us went out to a nightclub,
It's equivalent
Brie-
to a man saying he has a great
Who'd you
fucking
get the
sex
first
doll.
answer?
Basically, you're a rotter and a fucking dork.
You have a blow up pool behind you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, but that's not a sex doll. I don't.
Okay,
well, I
but
could
it's a
fuck the
flamingo blow up pool, and you're
Yeah, so
trying
what's
to
the
get
problem?
people to take you seriously.
Have you ever tried to fuck the flamingo?
Well, what's the problem?
Every
I
day.
could do that on OnlyFans. No, you're on the internet thinking that you have to do these debates that matter, and they really don't. At the end of the day, your political debates mean nothing because you're not in the echelon, Chuckles, or nobody else here is. Where
This
your
is your
debates
only
or your
argument.
meaning- No, your debates mean nothing. You're not changing. You're a person that
What do you
validates.
think your debates do?
No,
for the world?
you're looking. I'm not debating anything. I'm just telling you the way it is. Okay, you're the type of person that looks for people's constant validation and wants the world to be the way that you just want to see it and fit. And when it doesn't, you fucking pout. Okay, that's the type of person you are.
Thank you for such clarity.
Yes, you're welcome. And that should be $20 to my Cash App because I'm giving you a psychoanalysis.
Now, you see, one of these things, I think a lot of these girls, they have problems with their dad. Chuckles says her dad is a pedophile, and Brielle says her dad molested her in her sleep without her knowing it and only found out years later. Do we see a common pattern here?
Make
Yeah,
up shit.
girls on the internet.
Is that
have
am I
daddy
wrong?
issues.
Babe,
Well, I
correct
don't
me.
believe
Maybe
anything.
you're a
First
daddy
of all, I
issue
would.
girl magnet, Ben.
Well, I wouldn't believe anything
And you
without
wouldn't
the belief.
believe the kind of you wouldn't believe what I'm getting like every day, dozens. And sometimes it's weird stuff. Sometimes it's scams, but sometimes it's legit. It's crazy. The dad of the internet. Everyone wants to take out their daddy issues. It's amazing. I need some help with it, Hormaxer. You've got to help me to.
Well, no,
filter
I don't
through.
think you're capable of help, Ben, and I told you that a long time.
You know, I
ago.
thought about that
Yeah.
too. I thought about
Yeah,
that too, but
yeah.
I'm ready
Yeah,
to open up.
you
I'm
can
ready to
buy
open up.
Maxie's plane ticket. You go ahead and do that. You'll be.
I agree with you on the
good.
I agree with you on the not life affirming thing of this Christian thing. I want to pop the cherry on that and then say
Well, I don't think you're not going to do anything.
Well, let's talk about. I've got a chick. Well,
conversation.
okay, I can tell you about.
Yeah,
people who.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what's your conversation? What are you changing? Are you going to the gym? What are you doing?
I don't need to go to the gym. They're
No, of course.
flocking as is.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's your
But I
problem.
have been
You keep
working
getting
out
changed,
because
so
I'm
you
trying to
enjoy swap food.
Better food, and I'm preparing for my boxing match with Speakeasy with the Wigger from.
Okay, so
Toronto.
you're gonna go box this the Wigger and Canada.
He's never gonna come. He's never gonna come. See what you know how I beat
Yeah,
him?
listen.
I don't know where it is now. I had a little gold
See,
coin.
there is a
shekel.
difference. Let me
1
just
ounce
say,
shekel.
there is a big difference between these women.
Where's my shekel?
See, this is what you men don't understand. And you can think of me whatever you want. You know, they say, you got a pink flamingo in the back. Honey, I don't give a flying fuck what you think. I'm not here to win hearts and minds, okay?
Yeah, well,
I'm
what's the
here-
problem with that?
Yeah. Well, I don't know because, well, see, they're
Funny, it's fun.
interested. They're interested in their complete appearance, and every word has to be validated by something. I know her type. She's a ball-busting bitch, a life denier, and it seeds through her whole essence. It's very interesting to see. Women like her are not fun to be around. Now, Maxie Mello is fun to be around. These women, Brie maybe, but
Maybe we can uncork them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe we could see where the problem is, like a knot that we can
No,
untie.
I don't have time to dissect these women or want to play with women online. I'm interested in women that are either out in the world and going
Well,
out.
you are
and live
talking to
streaming
them.
and whatnot. You know,
Maybe we need to be a little kinder.
but no,
little more
you could be
paternal.
kind to them, and obviously that's working wonders for you. You know, and
Well, yeah, it
yeah,
is.
no, and you need to get
Well,
in.
I'll show you. I honestly, I'll show you.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not gonna
you
show her
think
pictures.
that
because
having
she got mad about it.
relationships or talking to women online is not having a relationship or is not sexuality. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's
You're
not.
not putting your
It's
dick
moving
through the
beyond
computer
that.
as far as I know. No, it's not beyond that. And I know you're delusional enough to believe it because you believe in Christ's insanity. So if you believe there's a Jew in the sky and, heavens and whatnot, I could tell you anything, might as well be the same thing.
Well, but I mean, I'm saying, I remember a while back, I said, I was going to meet up with this chick, Jackie, and I wasn't ready. And you said, like, come on, just go do it. And I think I'm ready to do that. I want to hear more about that.
Well, what is there more
and
to
I'm
do?
not making a porn.
Meet with somebody or you don't. Yeah.
Huh?
Well, you go up and then meet with somebody or you don't. It's easy as that. There's no in between.
Right. Well, and I made a mistake because I was all about like trying to stabilize that lunatic psychopath that thought she was married to me. So I made a mistake and I said, like, okay, well, I'll say no to her.
Yeah, well,
and it was a mistake. I should have met up with Jackie. I agree with you.
You're still talking about your failed marriage, and I mean, well, it is a marriage and
disaster. Let's call it a disaster.
Yeah, or whatever you want to call it. And obviously that should be a template for something people shouldn't follow, because monogamy is a philosophy, okay? Understand that. Monogamy is not the way of the human being. It is a failed philosophy, and it's basically a fallacious philosophy.
Nah, you're a monogamous guy. You would have.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not against relationships. But
monogamous.
Monogamous is not for the human being. If it was, you wouldn't have a 70% failure rate in your marriages. Now, that's very well documented. Okay, the facts are on my side. Yes, they are, and it's getting worse.
Well, that's including all the people who get married 500 times.
Yeah, but you can. Why do they keep getting married? Why do they keep repeating the same mistake?
Well, but I mean, okay.
Yeah,
most
why are they
marriages stay together? And I don't know. A lot of them are failures. I agree.
No. How many of those marriages that are together, Ben, are dead marriages?
Yeah, okay, I agree with you. I'm
how
not
many
saying
of those are dead marriages.
Do you know that the Pope? Do you know that the Pope said that he thinks most marriages aren't marriages? So he agrees with that.
Yeah. So why do people do it? Either whether from Catholicism or whatever the aspect of taking a marriage from, why are they entering into a government agreement that is bound for failure? Now,
I think it's a problem to have the government involved. I agree with you about that.
Okay, so then you don't need marriage then. So what you're saying is you're admitting you don't need marriage.
Commitment to someone.
You can make that, but you can make that as a verbal commitment, and as well as that goes around. Why is marriage then needed?
Okay, but that is marriage, a verbal commitment.
Well, no, marriage today is constrained to you get tied into the government.
Not necessarily.
Well, sure it is, unless you have a prenup that's really solid clad.
No, you can. No, you can. Well, yeah, but that's another option. But you can get married privately in the Catholic Church for reasons.
Okay, so unless
the Romeo and Juliet situation.
So unless you're really, really exceptionally religious, if you want to believe that delusion, which I believe it is a horrible delusion, then there is no way, then there's no reason any man, and I don't care if you're not into sexuality or whatever your kinks are or whatnot, should be getting married today in 2023.
Okay, well, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that's obviously a benefit to having a relationship between one man and one woman, and let's say for the sake of the kid.
Or what happens if you want to have relationships with multiple women, enjoy them all, and have good times with them?
Then I think that you would ask the question like, what is it that another pussy has that this pussy doesn't have? It's not really about like,
some women have different
flavors of ice cream.
Well, some women have different personalities. Some women fuck better than others. Most women, that's why I advocate for swing clubs, because you could date one of these boring bitches like the Yenta Chuckles and wind up that she's a dud in bed and wind up 3 months down the line. At least in the swing club, it's underneath the hood. So where I'm taking men and doing live streams is at swing clubs and showing them there is an alternative. I don't know what this is.
Sun takes its heels to taunt you, but after sunlit days, one thing stays the same. Rises the moon.